Dago's got that stare red light on the screen, pouring up truth every damn day. Names, faces, dates, he don't look away. Pin maps, cold files on the wall. String runs tight from the big shots, his halls. You feel that chill when he says that name. Someone's shadow, someone's shame. True Crime Cafe, he's serving the proof. Hot cup of pain, cold steel of the truth. Seeking justice, seeking reality. Voice for the voiceless, he speaks for the script. True Crime Cafe, every single day. Pulling on the threads till they all give way. Corruption in the veins, he's calling it out. No way, no peace till justice is found. Backroom deals under neon signs. He reads one line, then follows the lies. Crack tape, low sound, he can hear that plea. Somebody out there, come remember me. He don't blink when the story gets dark. He just digs deeper, strikes that spark. You hear that rage rotting under his breath. Every question a dare, every pause a threat. True Crime Cafe, he's serving the proof. Hot cup of pain, cold steel of the truth. Yeah, seeking justice, seeking reality. Voice for the voiceless, he speaks for the straight. True Crime Cafe, every single day. Pulling on the threads till they all give way. Corruption in the veins, he's calling it out. No way, no peace till justice is found. No way, no justice, no use in the lies. He tears down the curtain, looks dead in their eyes. Whoa, you feel that verdict rising inside your chest, till the guilty confess, till the broken can rise. True Crime Cafe, he's serving the proof. Hot cup of pain, cold steel of the truth. Seeking justice, seeking reality. Voice for the voiceless, he speaks for the straight. True Crime Cafe, every single day. Pulling on the threads till they all give way. Corruption in essence, he's burning it down. No way, no peace till justice is found. Yeah. Later. County loser. Yeah. Later County losers playing the game. Telling their stories, gotta keep them the same. Nothing rings honest, every word bent strange. Nothing true in the room, so who takes the blame? Is it Billy Ashley or Payne in the back? Smirks in the hallway, ink on the stack. Sign on the line while they grin and they grin. Every handshake dirty, every deal is a spin. Government fam, government scam. What's real, what's scam? They point at the broke kid, call him the crime, while the wolves wear ties, walk out just fine. Later County losers, you all look the same. Devil in your eyes, but you're hiding the fangs. Bill Ashley and Payne, oh my. Shame, shame, shame. Look in the mirror, who you see? You all look the same. Devil inside, ugly out in the frame. Ugly out in the frame. Yeah, prosecuting wrong ones, protecting thinking the worst. Bless the corrupt while the honest get cursed. Judge in your pocket, papers in flames. Ice P on the wire playing the same old game. Shake down the weak while you toast to order. Build your kingdom on the broken border. Truth on trial with his hands in chains, but the guilty walk free, laughing off the stains. Government fam, government scam. What's truth? What's sham? They swear to saviors holding that book, but cross that line, see how quick they cook. Lake Talk County losers, you all look the same. Devil in your eyes, but you're hiding the fangs. Bill Ashley and pain on my shame, shame, shame. Look in the mirror, who you see? You all look the same. Devil inside, ugly out in the frame. Ugly out in the frame. Look in the mirror, tell me what you see. Halo on your head, or the smoke from the heat. You can burn that robe, you can change that name, but the stain stays red, you can't wash that blame. Lake Talk County losers, you all look the same. Devil in your eyes, but you're hiding the fangs. Bill Ashley and pain on my shame, shame, shame. Look in the mirror, who you see? You all look the same. Devil inside, ugly out in the frame. Yeah. Here comes Miley Meek, foggy, driving all day, yeah, dog tired, groggy. Fast food cold in the passenger seat, bag on the floor, all salt, no heat. Walking in circles, late night lobby, eyes half closed, whole world wobbly. Door dashing, she smashing that route, telling her story, trying to crawl out. Molly Mick foggy, so foggy, foggy. Whole day smeared like a rear view, soggy. Who changed your mind? Did they scare you? Billy's the boss and you're lost in the gloom. Molly Mick foggy, so foggy, so foggy. I thought a killer, but the picture got choppy. Another weird story, my mind long gone. Saw the girl in the window, then she just gone.
Little man on the scene trying to sound real tough. Standing on a stool, still ain't tall enough. Reaching for the counter like daddy, pick me up. Wants his lukewarm brew in his favorite sippy cup. Baby pain, stomp those socks. Tiny little sneakers, big boy talk. Puffs that chest, can't lift the lock. Bangs on the door till the hinges pop. Baby pain, just a little guy thinks he running the game. Baby pain, wants a big desk, can't spell his name. In charge of the case, I don't think so. Give him some toys and shut that door. All he wants is to feel that large, but I'm the one in charge. Yeah. Poor little guy ain't got one friend. Crying to his mama, why's it all gotta end? Why? Tears on the floor. Kicks his legs, then he's back for more. Fake mean mug with the jelly on his chin. Throws one punch, then he runs back in. Hides behind mom when the world swings back. Wants big boots, still rocking snacks. Baby pay. Just a little guy thinks he running the game. Baby pay. Wants a big desk, can't spell his name. In charge of the case, I don't think so. Give him some toys and shut that door. All he wants is to feel that large, but I'm the one in charge. I'm the one in charge. Stomping up and down red face, small frame. Tiny little storm trying to make it rain. Wah, 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 that's his war cry. Big boy dreams in a shirt size 5. Baby pay, baby pay. Just a little guy thinks he running the game. Baby pay, baby pay. Wants a big desk, can't spell his name. In charge of the case, I don't think so. Give him some toys and shut that door. All he wants is to feel that large, but I'm the one in charge. I'm the one in charge.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the cafe. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're all doing amazing. I hope you're all having an amazing day, staying out of this crappy weather, staying warm. It's chilly, rainy, and Ohio-y, as I call it, because that's what it looks like out here. It feels like out here. I feel like turning the heat back on already. It is crazy. So good to see you guys. Thank you again for being here. I hope you're amazing, because you truly are amazing. It's great to see you all. Thank you for joining us. So, today, guys, we're going to be talking about some information that dropped yesterday. Ann Taylor finally spoke up in a press release. She spoke out in regards to Dr. Turvey. Some other things said. We're going to review some stuff, discuss all this and that, as Kim told you over there. And what may be going on, what we don't know for sure, of course, but we're going to talk about it either way. And that's the deal. So please make sure to hit the like button, share it out, and let everybody know what we're doing today. And of course, that being said, you guys know where we go next. So let's do it and get it moving. Here we go.
Flicker like broken halos. Whispers gather in the smoke-filled air. Tables carved with secrets and shadows. Every story's a wound laid bare. The kettle's boiling with a restless rage. Justice written on an unseen page. I sip the silence, bitter taste, waiting for the ghosts to show their face at the TruCrime Cafe. We serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betray. Cracked reflections are liars. Ashes fall where the guilty once stood. The jukebox hums like a funeral choir. Echoes pounding through the neighborhood. Every scar is a candlelit vow. We hunt the how, we demand the now. No more silence, no more disguise. We'll paint the night with sharpened cry. At the TruCrime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betray. It's a battlefield hymn, a requiem dripping from the bottle's rim. The guilty write stories
good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is for you. I hope it's good because it's great to be back with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are open again for business here at the cafe. Plenty to talk about as of last night. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm telling you right now, this is getting interesting. It is definitely getting interesting. Um, I see you guys in the chat, some of the things you're saying, and we're gonna talk about it because I don't know if that's how to take it or if we should take it another way. Either way, we'll talk about it. We'll see. Let's see first who we got joining us, and of course I need to excuse me, guys. Sorry, this weather is killing me. Up and down, back and forth, hot, cold, nice, dreary, rainy, crappy, sunny. Make up your mind. It's messing with my allergies so bad. All right, let me pin our link. I'm sure there's people that are going to want to talk about this. All right, so it looks like we got Miss Cat K in the house. Ms. Rowe. Anna D, welcome back. Good to see you. Mandy Gillian, same to you. Um, Sluther75, welcome back to you, dear. Ms. Rowe, great to see you. Leah Story, welcome. Jesse Lynn, moving forward. The sassy one, Miss Cassie, in the house today. Good to see you. Beach Babe, great to see you. Blue Devil, welcome. Great to see you today. Margaret, welcome back. The one and only Mert, welcome to you. Excuse me. Thank you, SRB. And of course, SRBBB in the house. Thank you. Mikey with the last 24. Great to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Beach Babe, welcome back to you. Miss Donna, 7 to 9, welcome back. Great to see you. Tandy's in the house today on her lunch break, joining us. Italian girl, welcome back to you. Lost in Casa, welcome to you. Right Turn Clyde, welcome back. Happy hump day to you, my friend. Eddie's in the house joining us. It looks like he'll be joining me up here as well. Thank goodness. Let me see. Show. The tomboy bouncing around in here somewhere. I just saw. I thought maybe I confused it. Pretty much Finland. Welcome back to you. The one and only Mert. Good to see you. Ms. Potts, good to have you here. Always, dear. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Tara, welcome to you as well. Mandy Gillian, I saw you. I think it is cold today. It's weird. It wasn't this morning, though. Bobby B, good to see you. In Stitches, welcome back to you. Aquamarine, great to see you. Gen 7, welcome always. There's the tomboy. I see her for sure now. Lily Rose, welcome. Great to see you. Lenny Briscoe, welcome back to you. It's great to see you. Guys, while you're waiting, make sure that you click that $sign down at the bottom down there in that little square box, just in case you haven't yet done it, so you can receive gifts in case there are any memberships that go out in here. It happens so often. You don't want to miss out on it if you don't have one yet. Please make sure you can receive them. Miss Becca, good to see you today. Gulf Coast Bum, welcome back to you. Michelle F22, great to see you, Michelle. I think I'm nomadic duck in the house. Welcome back, my friend. Hi, Cat Lover 4700. Right, welcome back to you. I think I am going to turn the heat back on. It's crazy. Miss Lisa Winchester, great to see you. And it's always colder back here. And then in 3 days, I'll be complaining because I want the air conditioning on. See how it is, you guys? Our weather is so bipolar. It's crazy. Fox Rooter, good to see you. Mary Holt, welcome back. Anna D. CGE 3333, great to see you. Smiling Sleuth, Miss Johanna. I see you. I see you. Miss Rowe, congratulations, Miss Rowe. Happy day anniversary on 31 months with this channel. That's amazing. We love you and appreciate you so very much. Miss Kim's in the house. Great show over there with Typically Unique. Miss Kim, always great job. Thank you for what you do. Looks like Miss Tomboy is having a anniversary as well. Happy day anniversary to you. 31 months again. You've been here longer than that. I know that, but that's okay. Robert Bell, good to see you, my friend. Miss Margaret, great to see you. Mystica, welcome to you, as always. And it looks like Michelle dropped a membership already. And that went to Miss Johanna. Welcome to the sauce, Miss Johanna. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Very awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Very much appreciated and very generous of you. God bless. Don't be putting yourself in timeout, Miss Tandy. It's not that bad yet. Holy shnikes in a no, Jesus. Luther just dropped 20 new memberships as well. Good Lord have mercy. It looks like Fox Rooter received one. Mystica, Robert Bell, CGE, Mama Ames, Michelle Geller, Chantalista, Tina LN Texas, Colleen Reinier, Pink Fan, Janice. Oh boy, it's starting to move. Hold on. I gotta scroll back up here. Just Melody, Betty Spaghetti, Marcy B, Storm, B DAC 401, Sun Bunny, Erica Pascal, Vinsanity. All of you guys, congrats and welcome to the sauce and the family. 21 new meatballs jumping in the sauce with us today. Thank you so much, Miss Luther. You're amazing. God bless, hon. Very much appreciated. And welcome all you new meatballs. Great to have you here in the sauce. Great to have you in the sauce. Yes, yes, yes. Way to kick it off for sure. Ozzy McGlynn, great to see you, dear. Great to see ya. Great to see ya. Let me see something here. Okay. Good. Amazing. 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 Thank you guys so much for your generosity. It is so very much appreciated, more than you know. Kim Schuyler, welcome to you. Appreciate you so much. Yeah, we need some new pots. We're going to just send you guys shopping. We are growing every day, and I'm grateful for it. Welcome, Turkey Creek. Good to see you. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Get off your feet. Grab a cup. Fill it up. Sit down. Oh, we're going to get into this. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. 1 minute here. Nimishi. Yeah. Come on in, everybody. Grab a seat. And all right. Welcome, Eddie. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Was
Thank you
that
for
a
joining.
new song? The first one that you played?
It is newer, yeah. Yes,
I've
it
never
is.
heard that one, I don't think.
Yeah, I added that last week. I have only played it once, I think, before, so you might not have been here when I did. But it is new. Yes, sir. I hope some people don't like the heavier stuff. Of course I do, but some people do. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you today.
Welcome,
Hey,
everyone.
Eddie.
Hey, Leah.
How are you,
This is
Miss
my
Leah?
first time on panel with you.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, Dago, I interrupted. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, you're fine. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you.
I don't have to work today, so I could run my mouth.
There you go. There you go. You know, we got
Dago,
plenty
can
to
I
run our
share?
mouths. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I share a couple thoughts?
Absolutely. Go for it. I
Okay.
got to pull some things up anyway.
Yesterday evening, your show was, I forget exactly the thumbnail, but why is Bryan Kohberger in prison?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so regarding that, remember back when we were all predicting whether or not this thing would even go to trial?
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
This is like way long ago, early on,
Way long time ago.
in the
Yes.
spring or early summer of 23.
hmm
I've always said that it's never going to go to trial.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's been from day one. Your thoughts on this?
And guess what? I was right for the wrong reason.
Yeah, right.
Do you guys remember the reason I gave?
Um,
No.
I honestly, I don't. At this point, I don't. It's been so long.
Because you would look foolish as a prosecution if you're bringing a case like that to trial.
Correct.
You would.
I do remember now. Yeah.
You have no case. You would be destroyed publicly.
Right.
And that's not real life. People aren't willing to do that. You would look like Ashley Jennings. We all recall when she's describing, I think it was something about the car?
Yeah.
How, well, it could have turned around or whatever. It could have changed direction.
Right. Right.
She was really struggling.
Big time.
Yeah. And so much so that the judge had secondhand embarrassment for her. He said, well, that's your argument. He didn't know what to do.
Exactly.
Everybody remember that. It would be that way continually. When you don't have a case and you have a ridiculous case, that's what you would look like. So that was my reason. So I could have never predicted the real reason, and neither could have Ann Taylor predicted it in the early going. I predict that she has never before seen such like an inversion of reality, and she has never seen that since. That's not real life. When you go into a courtroom, she was told that she has zero chance, unequivocally, but not in those words. Let me use a baseball analogy so you can better understand. So imagine that you're up to bat, you're at home plate, and the pitcher throws a ball, and it's clearly a ball. I mean, you'd probably stumble trying to reach for it. You might have to even go one-handed with the bat to try to get it out there far enough to even make contact with the ball.
Right.
And the ump says strike. You didn't swing at it, mind you, because it's such a ridiculous throw. But it's called a strike. And you go out on 3 of those strikes, the ump calling them all the same.
Right.
And you turn to the ump. I mean, you can't give him a glaring look, but you can give him a knowing look, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, people are going to say, well, I would go fisticuffs with the ump. Please stop. That's not reality. You cannot do that because he's the ump.
Right.
At least I don't have to explain that further. You all get it.
No, of course.
Because there is a decorum. And you can give them a knowing look, though. And Ann Taylor did that. And the judge also returned a look to Ann. We may not have seen it, but in his look, she could detect that invisible knowing look. In other words, this is the way it's going to be. Because they all went, for their practice, they went to the same schooling. They know the high standard.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows he's out of bounds. But what can she do in a situation like that? There's like two realities at play here. Like in the ball game analogy, can you imagine if the fans, let's say you and I are fans talking about that game, and we're on opposite sides of the opinion. So one would say, clearly, the batter is out. And of course, the announcer, the broadcaster is calling it that way, like he sees it the same way. And all the media is explaining it, that strike three, he went down on strikes. What a beautiful pitch.
Right.
I mean, that's a whole different reality than what happened. And the majority are going along with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other fan is like, what are you talking about? We all seen what we saw. And that person is ridiculed. I mean, there may be a couple outliers, but whenever they try to explain what really happened, it's just met with such a strong pushback. So these two realities that I always try to describe, it's like in your chat last night, and I'm not picking on no one, but Brian Rambling said, why isn't DM being arrested? And I've also heard people say, how come the Gonzalez don't sue DM?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, these two different realities, what, like, we have to be on the same wavelength. Like, what reality are you referring to this in? Because if we're in two different wavelengths on this thing, we're going to be like two ships passing in the darkness at night.
Right.
We will never be able to communicate it with each other. So, for example, with DM, it's like, in the context of how come they don't arrest her? Well, for what? Because she did everything perfectly. We know that she saw the bad guy and she described the bad guy. He's got the bushy eyebrows and he's like so tall and he wore dark clothing. To a T, she described him. And she did the right thing. She called 911. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. So
correct.
Everything's perfect. Considering all of her difficulties, she has memory problems. She's not sure if what she heard or saw was real or if she dreamt it. She had too much to drink and can't remember most of it. She doesn't know if it was real in her mind or just her mind playing with her. So, considering all that, she did great. So what would she be sued for? What would she go to jail for?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm playing the devil's advocate on that. So if anyone wants to say,
sir.
like, why wouldn't, how come the Goncalves can't sue her? Or how come she doesn't go to jail? So I guess you'd have to, within yourself, like, play that scenario out a little further. Like, so in your mindset right now, when you ask that question, do the cops know she's guilty? You're suggesting she's guilty. Do the cops also know it?
Right.
Because this is what I've always been driving at. Well, if the cops know it, then isn't it really the state that you're more questioning than DM? Like, why would they cover for her?
Of course.
Who's the real evildoer there, right?
Yes.
Like 100%. In the analogy of a spouse hires a hitman to, off their spouse. So who you find the hitman, right? And then that's the end of the story. You book them, you throw them in, you'd have a trial, you throw them in jail, and that's the end of it. Justice served, right? No.
Right. Good point. Very good point.
Okay, so it's kind of a difficult thought to express, but there's that. So for last night, basically because Ann Taylor was told unequivocally that this is the way it's going to play out. And her best recourse and her best look is to do nothing. Can you imagine if she did otherwise?
It would be a definite different turn of events for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Stand there on home plate and protest. When the announcer announced, everyone in the stands is agreeing with the call. I mean, you'd look ridiculous protesting. I've heard some people comment, well, I don't care. I would have a press conference if I was Ann Taylor. And do what? Can you imagine the fallout of that? They would clip that. There would be sound bites. They would edit it. Nothing would work to her favor in doing such a thing.
True. That's true.
Her only act, her only recourse was to file all the appropriate motions. And then we remember when she did that, nobody talks about the discovery deadline dates not being met by the prosecution or the due process violations, the misconduct on the state's part, but rather her response is ridiculed. She's throwing everything against the wall. She's trying every lawyer trick. She's delay, filing yet another motion. So all this Monday morning quarterbacking I see is happening to this day. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
That was good, Eddie.
Very, very good, sir.
Yeah. A way to start off the show.
I'm here to be on panel to represent Ann Taylor. And I'm not saying I'm 100% right. If it ever comes where I'm proven wrong, I mean, I'm open-minded enough to be able to see it.
So we are
And say
lucky
it.
enough. We have Eddie's attorney. We have Ann Taylor's attorney Eddie up here today, folks. So I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, and it's the thing I noticed is a lot of people automatically took this and went right for her throat. So that's why we're going to discuss some of this, okay? Because I don't know that that's what this was. What she said, and I'll get into all of that soon. What she said, she was actually right about, okay? But at the same time, there's this. We can weigh this whole thing out, and that's why we're breaking it down today. So, great job.
My question is, can it be proven though if she's in their pocket? Is that just an opinion? Is that your position? Because if it can't be proven and it's just one's opinion, then why undermine her? And in doing that, undermine our only hope for justice by stigmatizing her with this baseless claim.
Right.
It seems like a self-defeating approach. And why not wait for the process to see itself through rather than sabotaging her beforehand by the fault finding?
That's the thing is we don't know. She's been really quiet. Okay. Remember that. That's the most important thing about this. She hasn't said a word until the press release and the other stuff that the Idaho Statesman put out. Okay. Not one word has she spoke. And you got to wonder if it's because of what she's working on, if anything in the background, and if what just happened may have caused, may have thrown a wrench into the gears there, guys. That's why I would imagine she may have spoken up, is all I'm saying. So, hold on. Oh, boy. Look out, guys. We're in trouble now. Miss Kim is in the house. Welcome, dear.
Hey, Kim.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Kim. How you doing?
So now we have
good.
two
How are you?
attorneys for Ann Taylor up here. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if I'm going to be.
Well, see, then maybe we have too. And that's what I'm saying. We don't know. This is going to be, I knew today was going to be interesting. At the very least, I knew it was. That's why I did this. Just want to make sure we got everybody in the house. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button on your way through the door. Share it out. The reason why we're doing this today, for those of you that don't know, Ann Taylor made her first ever statement since this the plea, since the sentencing. Okay, and it was a press release. But we all know that this has been released. And I told you guys the other day, this book, in my opinion, may be a doorway into what is to come on this case. My last question to him during our interview when we were talking to Chris was, do you think or believe, Mr. Whitcomb, that there are things coming down the road in this case? And he didn't say anything other than absolutely, with a very strange look on his face. Okay. Take it, leave it, whatever it is. Welcome, Sarah. Good to see you. I don't know if it has anything to do with it. My opinion, and I told you guys I'm giving the book the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving it a chance until I don't have a choice to. Okay. A lot of people have their feelings about it. A lot of people have good feelings, bad feelings, mixed feelings, cross feelings, unsure of it, don't trust it, do trust it, whatever it is. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt to see what we get from that point forward. That's all. And to see what else is coming. And I've told you guys it's been a few months that I feel something big is coming. I said this a couple months back. Gut feeling, okay? Then this happens. Now timing is important, in my opinion, within this case. Timing is very important. So here comes the broken plea. And it's a little bit different than anything else that's been released on this. And Bryan has until September to file his appeal. Okay, that's his deadline. I think I predicted June, July for these things to blow up. I may be behind. It might be a little sooner than that. The book comes out. Chris starts doing his interviews. People are reading the book. There's some statements in this book from Dr. Turvey, Dr. Brent Turvey, who was the expert that gave his opinion to Ann Taylor right before, I think it was 4 days before the plea deal was struck. He handed in his report, and whoop, it was too late. So he was brought on later in the case, mind you. Dr. Turvey was in 2025, I believe, is when he came on board. So, excuse me. So I'm just getting everybody up to date on what's going on as to why this is all playing out the way it is. Go ahead, Eddie.
Do we start by looking at Ann Taylor's statement?
I'm going to start. Yeah, that's the first thing I'm going to throw out there. And then I'm going to read the Statesman article and give everybody the feeling or give you all what's going on. So give me 1 minute here. Thank God I downloaded it last night. That's the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to read you guys the press release that Ann Taylor put out yesterday. I'm not sure the exact time. And this is signed by all three attorneys that are still on key with him now. Alyssa Massoff, Dicka Barlow, and Ann Taylor. All right. Excuse me. Oh, what did I do? I moved everything around. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay. Okay. April 28th of 26. Again, this comes from the law offices of Ann Taylor, so on and so forth. It says the state versus Bryan C. Kohberger. It gives the case number. And it says, we write regarding the recent statements made by Brent Turvey. He was an expert hired by the defense late in this case. His confidentiality agreement was signed as of October 30th of 2024. Now, what she means by that is basically anybody that came on board had to sign an NDR. What the hell are they called? And is it an NDR? NDA. whatever, and non-disclosure report. Sorry,
Non-disclosure agreement. Or
agreement, NDA. That's it. I don't know where the hell I'm thinking today. I'm sorry. Non-disclosure agreement, which means anything that they do while working with the case, they're not allowed to disclose any of that information. Period. For those of you that don't know what that is. So he signed that as of October 30th of 2024 and continues. So I guess he must have been on board a little sooner than 25 then. I thought it was in 25 when he joined the case. He was hired late, as they said, but I guess it was in, 24. So we got that answer. And it continues to this day. The agreement with Mr. Turvey was crystal clear that all materials, as well as any opinions that he developed as an expert, were to be kept confidential. Mr. Turvey was reminded when the court lifted the non-dissemination order, the gag order, the duty of confidentiality continued until he was released from it by the defense, meaning the NDA that he signed had to have been terminated by the defense attorneys, nobody else but them, including the judge and nobody. It had to be terminated by the defense team. In his role as an expert, Mr. Turvey was asked solely to provide an opinion about the crime scene, nothing else. As such, he had access to view some items related to the case. He was one of many experts relied upon by the defense team in this case, and Mr. Turvey has not been released from his confidentiality agreement and is now speaking about topics that are still confidential, many of which are outside of his area of expertise. The defense team is appalled by Mr. Turvey's behavior and his release of documents and information that he knows are confidential. It is the opinion of the defense team that Mr. Turvey's conduct falls outside of the ethical and legal norms that are applied to experts in criminal cases, and his reliability. This is why I titled this the way I did. His reliability should be seen through the lens of his conduct. And it says attorneys for Bryan Kohberger signed Ann Taylor, Eliza Mastis, and Becca Barlow. And that is her press release. The only thing she said since June or July, of this past year, when Bryan was sentenced and found guilty and put in prison. Ann Taylor hasn't said one word since. Okay? And it's interesting. Now, I know people are on fire about this. I know I was last night when I first read this, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Whoa. You can take this a couple different ways, folks, in my opinion. It can be taken in a negative way or a positive way or a little bit of both. And that's why we're talking about it today. So, I'm going to read the Statesman's article, which does have a response from Turvey to this. It's quite interesting. I'll say that much. And we're going to discuss that as well. But before we get into that, when I read, I'm going to give you my opinion on this last night. I think Lana was the one we were watching this with. Wasn't that right, Kim? She had put it up last night.
yes.
We were in Discord discussing things. This popped up, and we read like, "Oh shit!" So
Before you go to his response, though, you can finish. But before you go to his response, I have a question.
Yeah, I immediately went to the negative on this, and I was like, "Hold on a minute, wait a second, like wait." I read this, and I was like, I'm a little upset, but I think it was Kim that said something, and then somebody else said something, and then it kind of reformed in my mind in a different type of way. I'll say that. So, and I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about it now. I think it's going to depend on how things play in the future as we go forward. So, go ahead with your question before I get into the article.
Well, first of all, I'll clarify that I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. All we can do is speculate, right?
That's
Based
important.
on what we're hearing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm open-minded. I see both sides.
Absolutely.
I'm just thinking through this. But a major point she made in her statement there was the information's confidential. It's confidential. It's confidential. And you have to ask why. Why?
Well, and thank you for saying that, because here we are, folks. This case is closed. Remember this. Bryan's in prison. The case is closed. what's the confidentiality about? Unless there's still something that they're working on at this point, and it
Uh-huh.
would hinder what she's doing possibly. Okay,
So
that's
Carlos and I
my.
talked about, yeah. Carlos and I talked about that. Sorry, Diego. And it's
You're fine.
when you're like a whistleblower, let's say, or like you're saying like something's coming, like if something's coming, then that means she has an issue with Bryan being in jail, right? And that something's
should.
wrong and he's innocent. And when you want to call out corruption like whistleblowers do,
Yeah,
the best thing that whistleblowers can do is get out there and talk as publicly as they can because they need
right.
protection, right?
Mhm.
And so you want it out there so that you don't get that repercussion of being that whistleblower because you want it to be as public as possible to protect
Yeah,
yourself.
protect yourself.
And it
Yeah,
looks like one side of this debate is doing that and the other side is complaining about it.
right.
Yes.
That's a good point. Now, I want you to understand, for those of you that haven't read the book, I'm not gonna give big spoilers here, but I'm gonna tell you there's a lot in this book that comes from Dr. Turvey based on his reports. Chris spoke with him and took his reports into consideration when he wrote the book, some things of his, and he points out, Dr. Turvey himself, I'm telling you, points out absolute corruption and big issues that he seems to have with this. And this, all he was asked to do was to give his opinion on certain things with the crime scene. In doing that, he found like, holy shit, what is this mess? Is what he's been saying. And he's pointing it out in a big way, saying, this is the problem. That's the problem. This shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. How is this man in prison? Okay. And he points this out. And he has an issue with it. And as you're going to hear, he points that out he points it right back to Ann at some point in the defense team. And so this is where I got torn a little bit. Okay. Because I respect what he's doing by pointing this out. We've all been saying this for 3 years. This is a problem. That is a problem. This is wrong, and that is wrong. This is not a normal case. And he, as an expert, is saying the same thing. Cy Ray came forward as an expert and made statements that made everybody go, what do you mean? In 30 years, it's the same damn statement by different people. In 30 years, I haven't seen this much of this or this much of a problem here or this much of a problem there. 2 experts said the same thing. Another expert was scared into not testifying. She was harassed and bullied, I guess you could say, based on
Uh-huh.
something the prosecution team did. And there's rumors, yes, and this is something else that we need to think about possibly because like Kim said, we don't know. We truly don't know the answer to why, okay? But you have to take into account everything that has happened. Like Gabriela Vargas was threatened by the FBI that she's not going to testify. She retracted her statement and she disappeared. And Atlanta couldn't even get a hold of her anymore after that. Cy Ray was on a Zoom call the day of the hearing, and Hitler buried him that day and would not allow him to speak out on what he said. His affidavit told the story. Now we have this guy that's coming forward, and he's saying there's some serious issues in this damn case, and I'm pointing these out, and he didn't get to say anything until 4 days before they took a plea and hurried up and shut this down. This is a problem as well. I'm not pointing a finger at Ann per se and blaming her, but I'm wondering if there's other things that are bound behind this, okay? At the end of this, we heard everybody's freaking out saying, why in the hell is he taking a plea deal? How is he taking a plea deal? There's no evidence to prove that he's guilty. They're crazy, all of that. But it happened. And everybody's screaming, why did she let him do this? It has nothing to do with her letting him do it. It's his choice. All she can do is counsel him to some aspect, okay? Now, I'm going to read into this article. And I'm going to explain what this article, and then we're going to delve into this some more. Is there anything anybody had to say before I read the article? Because I don't want to cut anybody off or cut anybody short.
No.
No, I'm fine.
No, go
Okay.
ahead.
I kind of wanted to build the stage for this because this This is wild stuff, folks. It truly is. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this. Now, I told you guys I had a feeling there was something coming, and I thought maybe this book might be the doorway down into what's coming down the road. And it kind of feels that way a little bit at this point now, okay? Is there more to come? I think so. These people are almost forcing each other to talk now. It's kind of interesting. I'll say that much. That's how I see it. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. It says, I'll show it to you too. That would help, wouldn't it? Yeah. Here we go. Kohberger defense team makes first statement since sentencing and scolds own expert. Now, you know how people write things. So it says lawyers for convicted killer Bryan Kohberger have taken aim at a forensic scientist hired to help in their client's defense at his Idaho murder trial, asserting in their first statement since he pleaded guilty last summer that the expert witness violated a standing confidentiality agreement. Attorney Ian Taylor, joined by public defenders Eliza Masteth and Becca Barlow, alleged that recent public statements by defense expert Brent Turvey, including earlier this month to the Statesman, falls outside of the ethical and legal norms that are applied to experts in criminal cases. Now, I had read an article to you guys a couple of days, maybe a week ago, that he had made statements in right after the book appeared, okay? And we did the interview with Chris and all that stuff. So, among a host of experts, Turvey was hired by Kohberger's attorneys late into their handling of the closely watched case solely to provide an opinion about the crime scene. Nothing else. They wrote. He signed a confidentiality agreement on October 3rd of 24, which the defense said remains in effect today. The agreement with Mr. Turvey was crystal clear that all materials, as well as any opinions that he developed as an expert, were to be kept confidential. Kohberger's defense wrote in the statement sent to the Statesman, Mr. Turvey has not been released from his confidentiality agreement and is now speaking about topics that are still confidential, many of which are outside of his areas of expertise. In a response to a prior interview request, Turvey provided the Statesman with a previously unreleased photo of a police evidence bag. He said it showed the police chain of custody for a key piece of evidence in the case was insufficient and should have been challenged at trial. Kohberger pleaded guilty last year to the November 22 stabbing deaths of the 4 University of Idaho students, and a trial never took place, which we all know and we're very angry about. Moscow Police Chief Anthony Dollinger and legal experts in Idaho, unassociated with the high-profile murder case, told the Statesman that Turvey's allegations were unfounded and would not have resulted in the knife sheath found at the Moscow crime scene, nor the DNA located on it being excluded at trial. Well, I have an argument with that. Then again, as I said before, we saw how Judge Hippler reacted during everything else in this trial or in this case, so they may be right. Turvey also is thanked and features in a new book about the Moscow homicides case called Broken Plea by Christopher Whitcomb, a former FBI agent who did not work on the case. The book hits shelves Tuesday, and it did come out yesterday. The defense team is appalled by Mr. Turvey's behavior and his release of documents and information that he knows are confidential. Kohberger's defense team wrote, his reliability should be seen through the lens of his conduct. On Tuesday, in an interview with the Statesman, Dr. Turvey rejected his former contract employer's accusation. He said the state already has released almost everything that he's talked about and called the defense team's claims about him a deflection away from issues with the case. After questions have continued to be raised about inconsistencies in the investigation and the decisions that led to Kohberger's plea deal. The bottom line is, and here's this statement again, The bottom line is, in my 30 years, I've never divulged confidential or case sensitive material that was outside my realm or outside anything. Turvey said by phone. Nothing that I shared was not already public or at least provided in discovery that was actually data dumped by law enforcement in Idaho. The problem is, as we all know, folks, that what we received was all redacted. Okay, so there's that, but that doesn't change this. Rarely has Turvey chosen to speak with the media unless asked to do so by a client. He added, "This case is different," he said. "This is an extraordinary case with extraordinary types of exculpatory evidence that were not being brought to light," Turvey said, referencing items and information that allegedly could disprove Kohberger's guilt. And so that's the reason for the discussion with Whitcomb, because so much stuff was being misstated and buried and not talked about by both sides, he says. He challenged Taylor and her team to point to specific violations of the confidentiality agreement he signed, because nothing he has said reveals attorney-client privileged information or would cause harm to their client, Turvey said. "I couldn't possibly guess what's in her head," he told the Statesman, "and you'd have to ask her to be specific. If she's too specific, though, she can get herself into a lot of trouble." And then, therefore, it goes forward to say Kohberger, 31, was sentenced to 4 life terms in prison, which we all know, with no chance of parole as a part of his plea deal. That bypassed the trial and allowed him to avoid the death penalty. He also waived all of his appeal rights. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't have the option for appeal for people that are newer to this. So, I think that's it for that. Now, back to where we were at. This is a very interesting article, and these are both very interesting things that have been said by both sides. And Taylor basically is accusing him of, breaking a confidentiality act. He's basically telling Ann to go check herself. You need to make sure what you're saying is right, and you better be careful you don't say too much, blah, 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 blah. That's how this is coming out. Dr. Turvey is a very, very well-respected doctor, an expert in the field that he's in. Ann Taylor's a very well-respected attorney and with what she does. These are both well-respected people, folks. And they're kind of head-to-head right now. This is the portion that we're going to discuss, is why. Why did this happen? How did this happen? Does this mean anything else? Does it mean something in the future is coming or not coming? And those are the topics of contention today and discussion points that we're going to be breaking down based on, what we do know, also based on what we don't know. So the best we can, I should say. My apologies. So on we go. And thank you so much for that one can, Leanne, for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. So go ahead, Miss Kim. I see you popped up first. What we got?
So I don't know what Turvey means, but by him saying she better not say too much or she could get herself in trouble, or however he worded it.
Right.
He knows something. And in my opinion,
I think he knows multiple things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, clearly. And I don't think anybody would come out speaking the way he is without receipts.
That I agree with too. And what I told you before I read that, my struggle is, everybody in here knows that I'm a huge fan of Ann Taylor. Always have been. I mean, huge fan. I respected her very highly, all of this. Okay. And initially, like I said last night, when I read this, it kind of kicked me sideways. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. What? Because I think all of us expected that this book would be something she would be grateful for, because it's pointing to the innocence of Bryan, her client being innocent. And
because nobody's calling her out
that way. Right. Of course.
They're calling out the prosecution. Why is she mad about that? Why is she mad about them calling out the prosecution?
Now, I guess that's a good point. Go ahead, Eddie.
If I was the representative, the attorney for Bryan Kohberger, and someone was speaking about my case outside of the setting of the courtroom, regardless of what they're saying, I'd be upset too. That's not their place to make arguments about my case.
That part's
Away
understood by
from
me.
away from my it's my case to argue, no one else's. That's why there's the confidentiality agreement. He doesn't need to be speaking about it, whether it's looking good or looking bad, or right, wrong, or indifferent. It's not his place.
Right. I'm going to say something again today, like I
What
did the other day.
benefit can come from it if he's out there talking about
I have an
her
answer for
business?
Can you hear us, Eddie?
Yes.
Okay. Before we go further, I'm going to say the same thing I said the other day. There's going to be some disagreements in here, you guys. I can feel it. I can see it already, and that's okay. We're supposed to be able to do that, and that's what we're going to do with all respect to each other, okay? There's no reason for name calling, yelling, screaming, slamming, banging, threatening. Let's do it as nice as we can. That's all I'm going to say, because I have a couple. I'm going both directions with this today, believe this or not. I'm going both directions. So, and I do it with what Eddie just said. I agree with that. Okay. I agree with that. But at the same time, I am questioning. I guess I'm questioning how she truly
If you
felt
can hear
about
me.
her job. Yeah, I can hear you, Leah.
No,
I'm truly
it came back.
questioning. I'm sorry.
My internet came back. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But I'm agreeing with Eddie that, granted, it's nobody's place to speak out on this because it's not their case to do that. We don't know what she's doing in the background, and we don't know what could have caused problems. But with a capital B. At the same time, and I'm not an attorney. So I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm not. I don't know. But I think as the lead attorney on the case with the person I'm defending, somebody coming forth and saying, "Yo, there's a problem here, here, and here." I would be grateful. It doesn't seem that way though. That's kind of what's bugging me a little bit with this. You know what I mean? And I don't
Mhm.
know. That's why I'm kind of going both directions with it, in my opinion.
Well,
I
I
think the
like that it
question.
happened. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like that it happened because there's a news article of Turvey, and he's got the words in there, I can't talk. Exculpatory
Exculpatory.
evidence, exculpatory evidence. And the people out there need to hear those words.
That's what I just read. Right. That's the article I just
Yeah.
read. He says that in there, and
Mm-hmm.
he says to what he said to Chris with their interview per se, that there's a lot of exculpatory evidence. But he also made a statement, and I don't know if this is what she's angry about because it's in the book. When Chris asked, I guess Turvey sat down and did, and I don't know that this is true. We've talked about this already, but she seems upset, so maybe it is true. Okay. He made a statement that he sat down with Ann, and he had asked her, "How did you not see this, or how did you allow for this to happen like this? And for your client to take a plea deal when there's absolutely nothing pointing at him and so much pointing away from him, actually." Okay. And at that point, she makes a statement back to him supposedly and says, "What did you expect me to do? I have other cases. I've done everything I can, basically. What do you want me to do?" That was her answer to this, supposedly.
Right.
I
The
don't,
fight is what she's supposed to do. That's what she's supposed to do.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I agree with you. Hi, Annie. Welcome, dear. Good to
I
see
mean,
you
I
today.
think if you think way back to tearing the house down, hi Annie, way back, people didn't understand that decision.
Well, it's making a lot of people now go back to things like that and why she was saying those things. So, can you hear me okay, Annie?
I can. Can you hear
All right.
me?
Yes, I can. It's good
Yes.
to hear you. It's been a while. Good to see you.
Hello,
Good to
everyone.
be on panel with you.
Yes.
Hi, Annie.
Hi
Good to see you.
Annie.
I figured maybe it's going to be more like a 4-on-1. It's probably going to be 4-on-1.
I don't know. I don't what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
Eddie's
maybe.
not going to like what I have to say. I already know that.
Well, I'm kind of going both ways with it too. So I mean,
Trust me.
and
I'm able to stand and
yeah,
handle it. So
we were
no
adults.
worries.
We can handle it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But I do have my questions now, and I do think people are looking back now and saying, at the end of this, well, how did this? We've all questioned this. How did this happen? Why didn't you? And again, don't take my words as absolute. It's just the only way I can explain it. Like Kim said, why didn't you fight for him? People asked. We had people that were going off on her, and a lot of us were defending her. The people were saying she did a shitty job. She didn't do the best. She did this, blah, 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 blah. And I said, she looked kind of deflated to me. And I felt like you guys heard me say she felt like she hit a brick wall and she couldn't go any further. And that this is why this happened. But now I'm struggling with it a little bit because of this. And I still feel the same way about that. But at the same time, if you knew this information, okay, Brent Turvey turned his report in and said that there was within 4 days Bryan took the plea. Okay, if I would, and this is just my opinion, if and I don't know what was standing behind this. If she was having her life threatened or whatever was going on, I don't know. Okay, none of us do. My problem though is if that wasn't happening, and even if it was her job being threatened. Okay, I'm gonna say this: if I stood for my job. If somebody came up to me and said, "Look, you're either going to turn that hose off and let that thing burn, or you're going to lose your job," guess what? I guess I'm going to lose my job because I took my job because I believed in what I did, and I'm going to put the fire out, and that's the end of it. If I lose my job, I lose my job. At least I did what I thought was right. This is where my problem lies. If it was just that, is all I'm saying. But if somebody threatened her in other ways, maybe I can understand it. But I believe, even if her job was threatened, that she should have stood up for what she believed in. If she believed her client was innocent, which she did claim more than once. If she had this information from Turvey, she should have threw that in Hitler's face right there. Okay, and maybe pushed a little harder. Is my opinion. Is all I'm saying.
Well,
but again,
can I
don't know.
Go
ahead.
Piggyback off of that a little bit?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's go back to the beginning. Long before Dr. Turvey.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long did Ann Taylor know that she had how many terabits of discovery? She knew that within 6 months of arrest?
Yeah, right away.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Right.
Pretty much.
So here's my problem with it, because this is something that even Hitler addressed with her. And, I'm not one to usually side with Hitler here, but I did agree with him on this. She had literally 3 years to go before her resource judge, request more paralegals, request more researchers, request any help that she needed. She could have utilized the media just like the state did. She actually had multiple avenues that she could have taken here to assist her defense, to assist, in her case.
Right.
And I just find it to be very interesting that long before any of your experts were brought in, long before any of this, you never went to your resource judge for help. Even though you're claiming you can't get through all of this because it's too much and there's only like 4 of you on the team. So that's the problem that I have.
Yep.
Did he give her the option in one of the hearings? Do you remember?
Yeah, but that was that's like right before sentencing is when he was like, well, why haven't, so I'm talking like long before sentencing, long before plea, she had almost 3 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you're going through this discovery, you understand it's only you and your 3 other team of attorneys, maybe a few paralegals, and you're also claiming, well, we don't have enough time to get through this. She was trying to hold off trial, claiming all these discovery issues. And yet at sentencing, when she's asked, have you cleared up your discovery issues? She says yes, knowing damn well she hasn't even gotten full discovery. So that's why I'm trying to look at it from a different angle here, because technically she lied to Hitler saying, Yeah, I'm good with discovery when in actuality, discovery was still coming in even after sentencing.
Yeah, she didn't get number 24 until after sentencing, if I'm correct.
I forget when she said that. What was this? When did she say that?
That was which part, Eddie?
No, to Annie. When did she say she's got?
At the sentencing or what?
I'm paraphrasing what Annie just said, but
okay.
Annie said that Ann Taylor said that she's good.
I think she's claiming it.
Yeah, at the it was at the sentencing hearing. I could have sworn where she was asked, "Have you had a chance to resolve all of your discovery issues? Do you feel like you represented your client to the best of your ability?" Blah 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 blah. And she said yes.
Well, that's because she has to, or they can't do the plea.
Right.
That's the only reason she did that.
You get what I'm saying, though. Discovery was not all set. Discovery was not all set, and she was still receiving discovery like months after the plea.
Correct. So that could that be used for ineffective assistance of counsel?
I mean, that's kind of what I feel like where Turvey's going with this. I think Turvey is trying to expose the ineffective assistance of counsel that occurred. And he's also showing that both sides were burying exculpatory evidence. That's what he's claiming.
That's
not just the state. He's claiming both sides were burying it.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Someone's got to stick up for Bryan.
Well, and I have defended against many a times. I think even you've been here, Annie, listening to it, and people have claimed that. And I don't want anybody to take off running with this theory because it's not a theory. It's just something that was claimed months ago, years ago, that some people didn't think that Ann was on his side. Okay. Some people said she's part of them. She's one of them. I don't trust her, blah, 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 blah. And I defended that to the end. Okay. I never believed that was a possibility that Ann Taylor is part of the game. Okay. I never did. And I'm not saying I do now. But that was always something that was a topic of conversation within this thing. And the way that he's pointing this now, I'm sure people are going to say, oh my God, look, there it is. Okay. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. But with what we're hearing, I mean, he did just clearly say what Annie said. Both sides are burying exculpatory evidence, folks. Chris Whitcomb says in this book that he found masses of exculpatory evidence buried in mislabeled files. What does that mean? Okay. I mean, that which side? And now
that means what the state was doing was turning over discovery, burying exculpatory information in files that look innocuous and like there's nothing in them. Yeah. To create an avalanche of shit on the defense, knowing they only have 4 people. This is what I mean. She had multiple chances to go to her resource judge and request all of the personnel that she would need to go through all of these files, even the ones that look innocuous, just to make sure nothing's in there.
Right. And the only thing I can remember, you guys, I've said this many, many, many times, is I think it was in May of 24. It was a hearing when they were still in Latah County. She points out to Judge and says, Your Honor, I have had issues upon issues within this discovery process. You have no idea. And he leaned back and said, and he leaned into her, actually, I'm sorry, and said, no, Miss Taylor, I know. I know. I absolutely understand what you're saying, and I do know. That was said then, okay? But then nothing.
Right, but if she knew.
Right.
But if she knew way back with Judge, she's having issues going through this discovery. Why are you not requesting more personnel? Why are you not hiring researchers like me or researchers like other people? Okay. Who can literally go through the discovery for you, research everything in it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't need a paralegal to assist you in your case. You need a good researcher.
That's it. Yes.
She needs you, Annie.
They had one investigator. Am I correct, Annie? And Richard Batanti? The only one?
I think she only had Batanti. I think she only had Batanti for a little while there out the gate. And Like, from what I understand, even Hitler's like, towards the end, he's like, well, have you gone to your resource judge? Like, what do you mean? We're about to go to trial and you're still not ready? What do you mean?
That's what I mean. That's what I didn't understand. That's where I struggled with things, but I always gave it the benefit of the doubt. Lucy said the ones she had were not allowed to access.
She didn't.
I mean, I don't know.
She didn't need money. Like, if you look at I'm going to make comparisons to the Karen Reed case. That defense team, they went to the local universities. They got law students. They put together a ton of people that just dug through files for them and did research for them. That volunteered. They volunteered because it's good for their career. It's good for their future career. So it's not about money. This was not about money or her budget or anything like that. And then Lucy brought up a good point about, well, what are they going to dig into if they didn't have the files? But we know how this goes. You start with what you have and then you question, well, this report is referencing this. Where is this? Like, and start pointing that stuff out. Where is it? We don't have it.
Agreed. And that's what Lucy says here. The defense investigators were not allowed to access the entire case until mid 2024. What good would it extra people do? See, that's what I had understood as of a couple days ago, that they only gave them the discovery, parts of the discovery that they believed they needed for the case. They didn't give everything over to them. Not everything. Like Chris is saying, he got everything. And maybe that's why she didn't see it or find it, because he even says in that book that he believes she didn't see half of this stuff. So I wonder that too. This is what
I know personally people who offered their services for free to her and her defense team.
You were probably one of them, to be honest with you. I've always thought that.
I cannot confirm or deny. I just know people who did offer their services for free.
Right. I'm sure. I'm positive of it. I've known that. But and I don't know if it's because of why you wouldn't take advantage of that. Is it due to the confidentiality aspect of it? Or how does that work? I don't know anything about that portion of this, but all I know is that if it was that bad, she made that statement. Okay, we all know this statement, that she brought an expert in that looked at this whole 51 terabytes and everything else and said, it's going to take you 3 years to go through this. And that was 2 months outside of the trial. And at that point, you didn't take advantage of anything at that point. I don't understand why, is what I'm saying. If you needed help, and he did give her the option, but like you said, Annie, it was like right at the end, right before the trial was coming to bed. I'll give you what you need, but it was too late.
It wasn't even about an option. She had her resource judge from the time she was assigned as his defense attorney.
Okay. See, I don't know.
Her resource judge was available to her immediately. I mean, that's like most criminal cases. Your resource judge is available to you immediately, usually. So
what does the resource judge
there's the resource judge is the one that you go to when you need to bring on extra paralegals, bring on extra researchers. You get the funding from your resource judge to go out and get those people.
Can he?
And that's kind of why Hitler was saying to her, like, why have you not done this?
Yeah, I remember the hearing for that. And that's why I didn't truly understand how that was going or why it was going like that. But I'm not accusing her of anything, but I'm questioning her.
I have to imagine the answer could partly be accusing. Like Sky Blue Eyes is saying.
Oh, let me find it.
She didn't know what she didn't have. She didn't get all the information at the same time. So that's why I'm always hesitant to be a fault finder who, knowing present day information, judging the 2023 through 2025 and Taylor's actions, right? We don't know what we don't know, but we're talking about it now using present day information.
Right. Well, we've always known she's had a resource judge the whole time. It's not a secret. The resource judge is available to you for you to go to for when you need to bring on extra help in your case.
Right.
Can
Lucy,
the
drop that to me.
resource judge help get the discovery?
No,
She
no,
was
no.
asking
No,
for
it's
all that
about getting
discovery, and they
resources to
wouldn't.
assist you in your case.
Okay,
It,
but they can't help with her getting her files. Who can
no.
help her with that if Hitler wasn't listening?
Um. Well, it wasn't that he wasn't listening. It was that they were drizzling things to her as they always did. But I don't even know how to think on that one. But no, the resource judge will just give her the if she goes to this judge, from my understanding with it, Leah, and says, "Hey, I need 3, 5 different people for you to throw me to be able to get through this information ASAP." Okay, that's what that judge will do. He'll look at what she's got, her
Mm-hmm.
caseload, and say so on and so forth, and say, "Okay, you can have this many people to help you get through this situation." And from my understanding,
If she needed 3 researchers that are charging $100 an hour, that's what you
yeah,
go to the resource judge for. I got these 3 researchers. They're going to charge $100 an hour. They're going to put in 100 hours each. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
that's what you go to your
Mm-hmm.
resource judge for, to make sure you can free up the
Okay.
funding to bring on the people you need to assist.
right. So this document was filed. Thank you, Lucy. February 1st of 2024. Okay, from Ann's office, and it's the motion to allow certain experts and investigators protected access to view the IGG materials. This is just one portion of this. And it says counsel for Mr. Kohberger's reviewed materials currently available under the court sealed order for disclosure, blah, 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 protective order filed, and requests the court to include additional members of the defense team access to the materials. Mr. Kohberger specifically requests the current protective order to expand and allow defense experts Leah Larkin, Becca Barlow, Stephen Mercer access to be able to go through this. So I think this is pointing to the fact that she was asking for these extra people to go ahead and go through the IGG info that was out there. But that's just this portion of it. Wouldn't she have needed
Yeah.
to look at a lot of other stuff as well? I mean, I get this, and thank you, Lucy, for reminding me and showing me this too. I would imagine this is just that portion of this, like the IGG stuff, but we're talking about the other evidential materials, that the 51 terabytes of all the other stuff. Is there a request for that as well? Because I never saw it. That's what I didn't
Yeah, like the
understand.
IGG stuff, only certain experts could view that material because the IGG had a lot of other personal information of other relatives on the genetic tree that was built.
Right. Right.
So that's why only certain experts could access that information, the specific experts that were dealing specifically with the DNA. Obviously, you're not going to give all of the IGG shit to someone like Turvey, whose job is the crime scene, not the DNA. He would have
Right.
no reason to even look at anything IGG.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because everybody has their own background. Like Bicca wasn't Bicca a DNA expert, from my understanding? Um,
Yeah.
So that would have fit for her,
Yeah.
but the other people weren't experts in that field. So
Yeah, and somebody in the chat was asking who the resource judge was. It was Judge Monson. Judge Monson was the resource, yeah, and he's been the resource judge even when they were with Judge. He's been the resource judge from the beginning.
So do you have an opinion then, I should say, as to why this may have happened like this, Annie? Why she negated to go to him and if it didn't have anything
I
to
don't
do
know.
with
Maybe she was afraid of people who would leak shit. That's my guess. Maybe she was just really worried about leakers.
Which is a good point, because we know it happens. It did happen. So,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not accusing her of doing anything wrong here, but I do think that it's probably not a good idea to start going head to head with your own experts through the media. It's probably not a good idea.
It's a similar line of thinking as to what I might have guessed, and that would be like, how do you know who you have working for you isn't a double agent?
Yeah.
Working both sides of the fence, right? That's a good point. It is, and I think
in
kind
a
of
case
that's
like
what.
this, like I started out the program today talking about, like, this is a very unusual case, and Ann would have known almost immediately that something ain't right.
Agreed.
Well, I have no doubt that Ann Taylor, long before she was even assigned to Kohberger, she was probably already hearing little whispers and rumors about this case long before someone was even arrested. She was a public defender at the time. She knew she was going to be probably likely assigned to whoever gets arrested. So I'm sure that she was paying attention from jump because she knew this case was going to come through her office eventually if they arrested someone.
Being a capital case, right?
Right.
Because of her qualifications, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know. I don't know what to think on this. I've told you I'm going both directions with this, and it's driving me nuts because I can see it from both sides, and I have questions from both sides of it. I always wanted. Go ahead.
Was part of your program today, were you planning on having a reaction to Devil's Advocate's reaction?
I wasn't, but I can if you would like me to. What is? I didn't even watch this show yet.
I noticed someone in the I watched part of it, and I think it would be interesting to react to that.
Okay,
but it's up to you. It's your show.
Is it negative, or how did I didn't get to watch it yet? I'll be on probably talking about it tonight over there tonight, but.
Well, let's put it this way. Instead of it being 4 against 1, now it'd be 5 against 1.
Oh, is he saying that he has issues with Ann too? Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. I mean, a lot of people are.
I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
I know. And you don't take things personal, and that I respect that. Most everybody up here doesn't take things personal, and I'm grateful for that. I don't know.
See, I just look at it as, lawyers are lawyers. They are literal, I hate to say it, but like professional liars. They're professional wordsmiths.
Yeah.
It's literally their job to finagle the English language, legalese. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, this is why I'm looking at it like, if I'm ever forced to choose between the lawyers in the case and then the experts in the case, I'm going to side with the experts. I'm going to believe them over the lawyers. And it doesn't matter if it's defense or state, right? I'm just I believe the experts, because why would Dr. Turvey has literally no reason to come out here and just be saying all this stuff. Like, do you get what I'm saying? She knew all this. She knew that this was his conclusions. She knows what his interpretations of the crime scene were. She knows what his opinions were. And I think it's interesting. She's claiming he's out here talking about things that are still under a confidentiality agreement, knowing that everything he's talking about is already public information. It's been released by the court. It's public record.
Right.
Well, that article that we just went through all together, it said almost all the information. It didn't say entirely all. Mind that.
No, but even Turvey's saying that everything he's talking about is publicly available information. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's what he's saying.
And I think that's why he's challenging her. Like, I know a lot of people think Turvey must have given Chris Whitcomb all of this discovery, right? Chris Whitcomb could not have the full discovery from Dr. Turvey because Dr. Turvey was only on the case for 6 months, and the only material he was given pertained to the crime scene.
Right. I think Chris's claim is that I'm sure he did get some from Turvey, that he had a couple sources that he got stuff from. And at one point even told me that told us, I'm sorry, that he reached out to the prosecution and asked for it too. So, and they gave it over to him. That was partly another thing he said. So at that point, that's where, where I believe he got all the stuff from.
I just think it's crazy. People are basically trying to make it sound like Turvey here gave Chris Whitcomb the entirety of the discovery in this case when that couldn't be further from the truth. Turvey wouldn't have the full discovery.
Right. Yeah. He only had the portion that pertained to him specifically and things that he was looking at. That's it. So they would have never given him anything else. He's just I think his theory on this and his feelings on this are based on what he saw specifically within that portion of his of the discovery he looked at. Okay. And that alone brought him to the perspective that he has, which is pretty interesting for the very least. But
I'm surprised our discussion hasn't covered the aspect of, remember how this thing left off with this leak, the NBC leak. We all remember that.
I was
around
going
the time
there.
of the plea.
Right.
And that's unresolved yet. So the fact that everyone suspected the leak being from the state. Now here we have someone from the defense team, a defense expert, leaking because he breached the confidentiality agreement, she is getting it on the record that when a leak on her side happens, she claims it. She addresses it.
Yeah.
She seeks to make it right. See? I'm surprised we haven't discussed, that aspect.
Well, I was going to head to that point once we got past some of this, because the leak hasn't been resolved, and I have seen statements out here, okay, now where people are pointing and saying that now they do question if the leak could have come from the defense's side. I don't believe that at all. I don't. I never have. So, and I knew this was going to happen today. I said this last night, Kim, when we first looked at this. If you remember, I said tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. I know what I'm doing. So here we are.
Can I ask a question? Miss Potts, did I don't know where I saw it. Is it true that Hitler was calling the attorneys into the chambers?
Allegedly, he called a meeting this morning. Allegedly, he called them in today, this morning. So I have, do not quote me. Right. I just heard from a little birdie that Hitler was not happy and wanted everyone in chambers today. Whether or not that's true, I'm not sure.
Okay, I don't remember where I saw that. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I did make a post about it, but I made sure to put allegedly.
Okay.
Right. There are no new documents before anybody asks. I just checked. There's nothing on the court summary, nothing new as of today, and I doubt that there would be that fast anyway. But it would be interesting. I'm sure he did. This is probably something that this is going to cause all sorts of shit to hit fans left and right. Okay.
He can
yeah, and maybe if they weren't called in for this morning, he may have set it up for tomorrow or something. But it is my understanding he's not happy, and he's calling for in chambers for both sides.
He can be unhappy all he wants, and he can talk to those attorneys all he wants. And I feel like enough information is out now that like the train has left the station. Like they're getting called out.
Hitler, the hypocrite. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. He ordered his own fucking court documents to be released back in December, and we still haven't gotten them.
Nope. We haven't even gotten through the first part of them. We still have how many more to go? That's a joke. It is a joke.
That's what I mean. We've been waiting since December 18th for the second or third batch of documents. I think it's the third. We're in May.
Well, they dropped the third and pulled them back real quick because somebody screwed them up, and we still got 3 more years worth of shit to drop, you guys. So, because he went backwards for some idiotic reason, because he's an idiot, in my opinion. That's me, but don't listen to me.
No, it makes sense that it makes sense he would go backwards starting from when he got the case, because when everything that happened with Judge, do you get what I'm saying? It would make sense that he would start with himself and work backwards. That actually does make sense.
Well, I get that. I just wanted a reason to call him a name because I can't stand him. I'm sorry. I can't.
Well, he could have done that and been done releasing everything by now. So it's ridiculous. And
they're holding back for some reason. Maybe I don't know why for sure, but they've been holding back. Okay.
He's losing power. He's losing power, and he's going to start freaking out.
Well, it is what it is at this point. And like you said, the door's open. It's let it go. You lost. The shit's coming.
Yeah, they got to give up the ghost. They need to give up the ghost already.
Yes, exactly. And here's the thing, folks. Regardless of which side of the fence, and here we are one more time, like I was preaching about this the other day. We cannot allow for another divide. We've had enough of that in this community, okay? This is what this is going to do. It's another divide, just one more, okay? Now, they're going to continue to push for that stuff because it's going to take our attention away from what we really want it to be on. And that's just that. That's what happens every time this shit happens, folks. Let's divide them and conquer. 100%. This is what they do. Hey, Jesse.
I did say that in a few comments recently that the purpose of the limited hangout might be to divide and conquer. And I said that after I saw Jules and Lana go to war with each other in their posts.
And this is where we're at. And I knew it was coming. We said this the other day, Jesse. This is what they want. divide and conquer. Let's shut them down by dividing them all out, and that's that. And here we go.
Mhm.
Right down the road. It's
Can
irritating.
I respond to Eddie's hypothesis about Anne's statement?
Yes, sir.
Before you do that, I'm going to hop down. So I just want to say bye to everyone and have a great day. And I'll be listening in chat.
Thank you,
Have a
Annie.
great day.
Bye, Miss Potts. Thank
we
you.
appreciate you,
Bye.
dear.
Good to see you
Thank
again,
you for
Miss
your
Pod.
input, as always.
Bye. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to hop down.
That's okay.
I hope it's not because I'm here.
No, it's
No.
not anything.
No.
Nobody
I love Miss
personal.
Pod.
She just gets uncomfortable when there's a big crowd of people. That's all. It's nobody
I wish
personal.
I wish I was as smart as Miss Potts, but
So do I.
I love
Honestly.
crowds.
Anyways,
Go ahead, bud.
Eddie's hypothesis regarding the statement, I think, is fair enough. I think that there's a pretty high and again, this is my uneducated opinion, but I think there's a pretty good possibility that Anne has to release a statement if her expert, with the leaks and with the battle going on over the leaks, she might be, forced to make, whether she wants to or not, have to make a statement acknowledging that he's violated the agreement and he shouldn't be doing that. However, the wording, I think, was a little bit over the top strong. It could have been worded more like, with all due respect to Mr. Turvey should realize that he's still obliged to follow the agreement and he's acting out of his, what he's been contracted to do. And, a light scolding saying, listen, Dr. Turvey, you need to quiet down now because this isn't proper behavior. But some of the wording in there, like his credibility should be viewed in the lens of his actions, something along those lines, which is basically, in layman's terms, saying he's a scumbag and can't be trusted. And, I think DA said it perfectly. She's the one that hired him. This is like when you tell everybody your girlfriend's a bitch. Well, you're the one that hooked up with her. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
You made this choice. This is part of your team. It reflects poorly. If he's a scumbag, it reflects poorly on you. And she didn't need to go that far, I don't think, in the statement. And she chose to. And I think that's a red flag for me.
I think some of it was based out of anger. But again, this is where I'm torn with this, because is she upset because of the basis of the action itself, or is she upset because at some point it's going to affect something she may be in the midst of working on? That's what I don't know for sure. None of us
even so, I think it's pretty obvious to everybody on this panel, and even Eddie included, that where Turvey's coming from isn't a place of selfishness or aggrandizing. Pardon me. But his genuine goal here is to help Bryan Kohberger, like a selfless act.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even if she's angry with his actions, even if she views his actions as very wrong, I don't see that as coming back calling him a scumbag. You know what I mean? Like misguided, stupid. There's a lot of things you could say about him, but attacking his credibility and making it seem like he's a scumbag, I think, is that is a red flag for me.
Can we post that statement by her legal team up again, and can we review the language of it so I can see exactly the words?
Yeah, let's look.
No problem, sir. 1 minute.
Was I out of line? Eddie agree when I said that we should all agree that Turvey's coming from a good place?
Well, what is the outlet for his statement, his opinions, his thoughts? Where
my opinion, or
your opinion?
That's what I think it is too, Eddie. I think he sees what he sees, as we all have, and I think that he is trying to say, "Hey, like you should be looking at this the same way I am. This is the problem." And your
you
client
misunderstood my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My question is more like, okay, refer me to that place where I can read it myself. Where would you turn me? To that book?
Which his reasoning for this?
No, Eddie's asking where Turvey is making a statement.
What is
where
Turvey's
statements found?
of his? Where do I find them? Where does a person go to
Well,
read them?
It was in It was in the previous Statesman article as well. But yeah, some of his statements were made out of the book. That's too.
Yeah. And here's my thoughts on that. So because his statements are associated with this new book, right? I mean, are we viewing that book as our source of facts? Is that what we're going to do?
I'm not taking it all from the book. I'm basing it off of what he said in the article as well.
Because
it starts with his expert report. So if you look at the rebuttals that came out, so you have Turvey's statements and then Sutton's rebuttal. You have Sutton's statements and Turvey's rebuttal. So those things come from that. And then what he has said about the investigation comes from Chris Whitcomb.
So I guess it starts within the documents that in the supplemental report that he put out, after Dr. Sutton's report.
And do we think that those documents is what Ann Taylor is referring to here?
No, she clearly states what she's referring to, and it's based on, the fact that recently he's, I'm trying to find it in the document. Welcome, nothing. How are you?
His reliability should be seen through the lens of his conduct.
Right.
That's the harsh statement.
I think that was unnecessary. I really do.
I'm trying to find the exact spot right here where
what I immediately thought it was is the fact that it was stated publicly. It might have been later corrected, but that Turvey recorded a phone call or something.
Yeah, between him and
that's
her.
what set her off. I'm sure.
More than likely.
He deserves to be scolded for that for sure. I didn't believe that because that almost seems like an unbelievable.
It does. It seems very hard to believe that he would do something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that is the statement I believe that came out of the book. So there again, going back to Eddie's point, do you believe it or do you not believe it? You know what I mean? I think even Lucy called that out a couple of days ago. It's very hard to believe.
Here's where I was going with my thoughts is because in that book, is there anything that can be proven to be incorrect? Just one thing, even.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then to have the defense's expert and his thoughts and feelings associated with that book, in my opinion, that would not be a good look for Bryan Kohberger's defense.
Now, let me say
this. You have Othram Labs and Cellbrite appearing at CrimeCon telling blatant lies about the case, like really egregious mistruths that they're putting out there at CrimeCon and various other channels too.
Yeah. Lucy, drop that to me backstage personally, what you just put in the chat there, please.
The things that I have seen that are mistakes they could be typos. They could be somebody being interviewed that said something that's incorrect. I'm just trying to think of a couple examples.
Well, there is I'm going to pull a document. 1 minute here. Article, I'm sorry. This is where Turvey's, maybe. It'll allow, God bless America. Why do I always got to sign into everything? Okay, hold on a minute.
While you're holding up. Oh,
there it is. Go ahead, Eddie. Go ahead.
This is just real quick. Is Chris Whitcomb relaying Turvey's opinion when it comes to the crime scene? The part where his opinion is that it's Xana being attacked on the main level, kind of there by the kitchen, the stairs, Dylan's bedroom. Everybody kind of knows that area there. Mm-hmm. If I recall exactly what he's saying in his belief about that. Is he relaying Turvey's opinion there? Do we know? Does it get this specific or
based on what he's not? No, it's Turvey's. It's based off of Turvey's findings, and that's what this article here was put out from Turvey's channel, the Forensic Criminology channel thing, and his articles that he puts out. this explained, it says this article accurately describes my findings in this case, but omits the essential evidentiary foundation of note, and then refers to People Magazine, received my report, did not reach out for my comment. However, they did accurately quote the prosecutor, who was unable to disagree with the majority of my findings. So I'm wondering if some of this came from here, or if he actually had Turvey's actual report that when he wrote his stuff in the book. But again, we can refer to this and his actual findings within his report to get the statements that he's making.
Surely Turvey knows that is not Xana's blood on the table, on the ping pong table.
Well, and that's where people got confused, nothing, because Sutton's report was amended twice. Even Chris said that, right? So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Chris said that. So
right.
I don't think that he is relaying Turvey's words.
That's why I'm confused with that. I don't know how to take or where to take that from. So
I'd say it's incorrect.
That's what I had to say with that part of it. Yeah. I'm trying to see if it's in here. Okay, it says here, prosecutor called Turvey's theory a possibility, but not a determination, noting in the filing that the blood could have spread because Gonsalves moved during the attack or after suffering a blow to the head. Furthermore, argued prosecutors, it would be impossible to know what the true intentions of the killer were, even if the two were moved. So that's where in turn plays back into that again. You know what I mean?
I think he's just talking about the positioning of the body right there.
Well, with the blood being in the different place too, is what that was in reference to.
I thought he was talking about the pool that was not necessarily in the right place because she fell over.
Okay, maybe that's what that meant then. I took that as the other one, so I'm sorry.
Dago, is the link still pinned?
Yeah, it should be.
Leah, can you see it at the top? Is it pinned? It should be right.
It was pinned at the top of the chat.
I think she wants it again.
Well, I just have to say, does everyone forget that whole beautiful display that Bill Thompson put on about, you knew it was false and you put it in there, but you asked those questions anyway. And he just acted like he didn't know what was going on. He was just so outraged by this.
Like he's not the one that said it.
F you, Bill Thompson, from a brilliant threesome of women. That is my opinion. I'm not trying to fight with anybody, but I think this is, okay. So no one's getting in trouble for all the leaking. Okay, well, geez, darn it, you bad boy. Why are you out there talking, Mr. Expert? How dare you? I'm just going to write a letter and scold you for it. I think Anne is so freaking smart. I love her. I don't care. Until I see otherwise, I'm standing by my woman. Because I think she and Alyssa and Becca are so smart. And I think they are trying to get this out the same way they got screwed over and it's happening to them.
If this is a plan, she's genius.
You just went where I was going to go next. Nothing. Yes. Okay. So that was going to be my next question to you guys. Okay.
I have faith. I'm like excited. Everybody's so mad and I'm happy.
Do you guys think it's a possibility, just a slight one, that this might be a ploy or a tactic, for better term, by the defense to, as I said the other day, maybe this book is a doorway into something bigger that's going to be blowing down the road. Do you think that she's taking this as a tactic and using it to blow it up? Maybe. Hi, Tomboy. Welcome, dear.
I don't know.
So
I would say,
sometimes
I think so in a sense.
That's my opinion.
If it is, then what's happening is she's playing along or cooperating with Chris Whitcomb and Dr. Turvey and letting them be the out front speaking, and she's playing dumb.
Yeah.
They treated her like she was dumb.
If that's what it is. I'm not saying that is.
I'm just saying Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
I just think it's possible that
we know the corruption runs very deep. I mean, very deep. How do you? I can't even imagine how you would go about trying to fight against that. I shared a story about one prosecutor who did try to change things, and they ran him out. They tried to get him arrested and thrown in jail because he was trying to change the system. So, I mean,
that's exactly why it's so hard to believe that somebody like Chris Whitcomb would be involved in some kind of a whistleblowing, heroic risk, selfless act like this. See, I do have faith in Brent Turvey. I believe that because he doesn't, if you just view it in an Occam's razor, with Occam's razor, he doesn't really have much to gain other than he's fighting for truth.
Right.
What if they're all working together, Jesse?
I just don't see how Whitcomb gets. How do they get a guy like Whitcomb on board for that? He's an ex-FBI agent. By his admission,
write a book and move on to the next one. He's all ready to move on to the next one.
Yeah, but he even admits that he was approached by another FBI agent, and the information comes from contacts in law enforcement. That combined with his history and his sort of unapologetic involvement in Waco and I mean, I don't want to keep on harping on the Waco and Ruby Ridge thing, but when he brings those things up, it's like he doesn't even grasp that a lot of people view that as two of the most embarrassing historic moments for American law enforcement and like an absolute beacon of corruption in law enforcement. And he states that he was involved almost like it's part of his resume and not like
he can't deny
a potential problem.
He has a big disclaimer or explanation story at the beginning of the book. And he spoke about it in his interviews about how justice is very important to him, like getting to the truth.
Right.
Yeah, I got that from the interviews that he feels justice is something that he holds passionate, and maybe that's all it is. And that's, maybe he's just like, I'll write the book. I'll be the head on the chopping block. I've been it before. I'll be the sacrificial lamb.
That's what I was going to say. What if they're all working together? Okay. Trying to come to some point. Okay. And I know this is a reach, folks, reaching out here. Okay. What if Van did this on purpose? This would be absolute ineffective assistance to counsel, right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She already established that.
And Jesse said, yeah, right. Thank you. And Jesse said long time back, why isn't he claiming ineffective assistance to counsel? Maybe at that point it wasn't time yet, and they had to get some time together to pull all this other bullshit out of the weeds. And in turn, at this point, it's going to come down to be ineffective assistance to counsel. He'll be able to file his appeal based on that at this point when you see it. And I mean, it sounds like a reach, you guys, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But what if is all I was saying.
I could be 100%.
Isn't Dago, if he were to file an appeal, isn't it going to go in front of Hippler again, or in front of? It's not going to go that very high up. Like, it's going right to the people who are doing this mess in the beginning.
Well, I think there's a way that it would bypass him because yeah, you're right. And it was even said, I think, by Nye that if it were to roll through his office, they're going to kick it back at some point anyway. But if it goes in front of Hippler's going to say, "But you told me that your counselor very effectively counseled you, blah 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 blah." So that would be a problem.
I wasn't ready a number of times. You said tough.
I think they can't follow the normal procedure.
No, it's not going to be the normal.
However this appeal is going to go forward, it's going to stay in the same corrupt hands that got him in this situation to begin with. So maybe it's this big blown up thing just because they're trying to get out of that system somehow. I don't know.
Maybe. That's what I'm asking, and I don't understand truly, honestly, how can you get out of this court? Okay, it needs to go either higher or to a different court system. How? That's what I don't know if this would do that, if this would take you up a level or to a completely different, I don't know anything about that stuff, folks. I'm sorry. That's where I'm missing and lacking.
What were you saying, Leah?
If you have exculpatory evidence, isn't that enough to get? What can you do to get him out based on that? If that comes out into the public,
it's one.
I mean, you have to have new evidence, I think.
That's one way. Exculpatory evidence could be another, but it had to be like a huge thing, I would think, because the burden is very hard to meet.
An absolute misrepresentation of him, so on and so forth.
Ineffective assistance of counsel.
Yeah, hold on. Lucy sent me these links. Eddie fell out. Okay, hold on.
Well, if Bryan wasn't informed about his exculpatory evidence, if he pled guilty without the knowledge of the existence of the exculpatory evidence, then that would open a new trial. But then, like, Ann Taylor would be disbarred, basically.
Maybe he wasn't listening.
Unless she didn't receive it, Jesse. That's the problem, though. That's the only way she could defend it is if she has no clue that existed and can prove that.
Turvey's completely lying.
I know. That's the other point.
Well, what does all that solitary do to your mind? Maybe he has some slight diminished capacity, or maybe he was over medicated by something. I mean, we don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying those things are true, but I noticed a change in his eyes from the beginning.
It could be, and he could just say he didn't understand it for that matter. You know what I mean? I would think.
I think I noticed a change in Ann Taylor's eyes myself.
She was definitely deflated. I'll say that much. Yes.
She seemed to be fighting very hard for Bryan for a long time, and then there was a time in which she seemed a lot less enthusiastic by the end, in my opinion.
I think there was a move to preserve his life and get time to.
That's what I've thought the whole time. Yeah.
Other interviews, time to seek other suspects, possibly that they weren't being allowed to introduce, time to have more eyes look at things, time to fight that whole media onslaught that was just disgustingly put against him, because you have to start somewhere. So why not with a Whitcomb? He is controversial. He is somebody that's going to get everybody yelling and talking on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Are you in here, Tomboy?
Yes. I'm kind of digging it. I kind of I don't know. I'm going for the underdog here.
I get it. I haven't heard from you. I just wondered if you could hear us or what you were here for, just what you were going to say.
I don't.
I think Anne started getting defeated when she realized that Hitler wasn't going to allow anything.
I agree.
He wasn't forcing them. She would continuously file motions to compel, but nobody would make Thompson and his whole crew be held accountable if it wasn't by the deadline. They would come up with some excuse
every time. Yeah, I agree.
And then I think she may have heard through the grapevine that Bill Thompson was going to put somebody on the stand that would lie.
That could be.
She's like, we cannot win. There's no way we can win this. So we need to get it out of his hands. And if he goes for an appeal, it'll go before the appellate courts.
Very true.
And that's out of Hitler's hands.
That could be very, very true.
Welcome, Logan. Thank you for joining us. You're welcome to jump up here with us, too.
Is the hair in Ethan's hands exculpatory and enough to change things?
No.
Yes, because it was never tested.
I don't think it's enough to change things. Yes, it's exculpatory. I should have said that first. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess it depends on whose hair it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Bryan's. We know that much.
Mm-hmm.
They tested
I
against
don't
that.
know. I'm still, I don't know. I still need to see a court document before I can just like, I haven't read the book. Let me just say that. I haven't read the book. So I'm not going to make
I find it hard to believe that it's legal for them to call it debris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are court documents that say that it is debris, but again,
that seems like a violation of the law to refer to. I mean, you can't just start calling everything a debris, right? You can't call blood or, bullet casings. You can't call that debris.
Think about what would have happened, though, Jesse, if they would have put that in the actual documents and stated that it was hair, and it didn't belong to Bryan Kohberger when they tested against it. What do you think would have happened?
What's supposed to happen? Because that's my point. So that to me, and obviously I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a guy that likes to eat beef and drink wine. But to me, a Brady violation is when there's exculpatory evidence that isn't put forward to the court.
Right.
And by calling it, it's one thing. So they've labeled a lot of stuff work product and put it in innocuous files. And then it becomes up to Ann Taylor to dig through those files. That was a discussion that was going on before I joined the panel. But it's another thing to mislabel it and call it something that it isn't. Now you're not just hiding it; you're actually misrepresenting exculpatory evidence. And I'm not a lawyer, but if that is legal, it certainly fucking shouldn't be.
Well, the forensics guy,
didn't that blood expert guy say why they called it debris?
Yeah, he said if you don't know for a fact, like if you look at something and you may think that it's blood.
The term is apparent hair.
But you call it apparent hair that it's blood. Mm-hmm. You can't call it blood. You shouldn't call it
apparent blood, apparent hair, and that's the legal terminology for it.
Well,
because watching the Karen Reed case, everything was an apparent hair, right?
I mean, they are
possible hair, possible blood.
Here's the thing, though. One of the problems with that
called it debris.
Is if what Chris said is correct, you can blatantly see a group of it in his hand gripped like this. We see it in the photographs on the floor, on the bed frame. It is absolutely hair. We knew that right away. And true, Eddie, what Eddie said, a shitstorm would have happened. That's absolutely what would have happened if they'd have called it what it was.
Wow. I thought he said that they called it debris because it did not come directly from Ethan. So to them, it is debris.
But they purposely didn't test it, in my opinion, though, because they knew it wasn't going to go back. When they realized when they tested it against Bryan and it wasn't his, we have a problem, folks. Now that goes against the the singular perpetrator narrative. That's a huge problem. Okay, that means there's
blood on the back of the knife sheath and the unknown males B and D, or
In the hair in Maddie's bed. Nobody ever heard about the hair. I mean, we heard about it, but they didn't test it either. And it had roots.
And that's different hair than what they found in Ethan's hand, even. So that puts even more doubt in the singular perpetrator theory. Okay?
Yeah, I don't like the way they do things. I'm just saying I think that some of the things they can explain away by their stupid system.
Yeah, I get it. And they're doing it the wrong way either way, but it's just that's the problem. That's the biggest part of this whole thing is all of this coming out, and this here for instance is from Dr. Turvey himself. These screenshots of this stuff. Thank you, Lucy. Stating anyone talking about this case who didn't work on it and examine all the evidence is about to be shocked, if not furious. Brent Turvey says, thank you so much, Dr. Turvey, for helping Bryan. You're a hero. Bryan's innocent. Can someone please help him get out? I have no idea if Bryan is innocent, but I'm concerned with the quality of evidence which led to his guilty plea, and a guilty plea that occurs 95% of all criminal cases and is not an indicator of a person's guilt. We're not the only people that are seeing this for what it is. So here's what I'm guessing, folks. This looks to me like Turvey sees this for what it is, and it's like, no. And that's where we're at with this now.
Oh, sure. I think he's great so far.
And so I'm wondering if this is a plan
at this point.
And I think people are forgetting the fact that not only did he call out the prosecution, he also called out the defense.
Yeah, he called out both sides.
Yes.
That might be strategic,
but you know,
yes.
these guilters aren't focusing on that. Everything is all about Turvey lied. Okay, so all of a sudden, every single document that we've got has been truthful 100%. Bullshit.
I don't believe that he lied.
I don't believe he did either. I believe there's some misspellings or typos or whatever it might be. I don't think that he blatantly lied like Moscow PD did or ISP did.
I don't think
out of anybody, I think he's the last one I would accuse of lying.
Yeah, an expert doesn't need to lie. You know, they're going to have other cases.
Yeah, this is not their bread and butter.
Yeah, they're usually not going to lie for somebody, you know, to.
I think, honest to God and honest and truly, I think this guy is. 1 second.
Oh, he's probably on the up and up, but look who selected him.
Yeah, it's the defense. That's why they're throwing such a huge fit, because if it's gonna show Bryan in any good way, they don't want nothing to do with it.
Well, now look how hard they work to smear his name everywhere. I mean,
yeah,
he's the devil. He's the devil. I mean, but
like, I don't have an issue with Chris Wickham either. I don't.
I mean, what is the chances? Like, you got, you know, Ann and Ann and oh my gosh, what's her name? Eliza, sorry.
Eliza Massoff.
Yes, having their defense lawyers only little gathering that NDAs are being signed. Wouldn't that just be convenient as all heck to have a little powwow about who wants to help or who wants to join the team or what strategies can we come up with? I don't know. I might just be totally,
you know, Fancy, I thought about that too. I thought maybe that was like a get together on other defense attorneys going, okay, we need help here. Does anybody want to help us?
I don't know. I'm trying to hold out. I'm trying to just be positive.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but this says, you have no idea. So many experts are about to pivot hard from the nonsense they've been posting. It's truly been a shameful showing from all angles, inside and out. I have some guesses. Nothing about the official narrative has made any sense to me. I've been saying from the beginning that something's really wrong. Nothing sure what yet. Looking forward to this book. Falsified chain of custody on the sheath, which was reportedly found in the floor first, but photographed later partially under a body. Falsified chain of custody for knife sheath, and no DNA match to Kohberger. That's just some of what we found. Now, these are the people that work with him, okay, through this. So they're pointing out multiple things that are wrong with this at this point. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to call him, of all people, the one that's being dishonest. But I'm also not comfortable saying that who's Dan? Ann knew and lied at the same time, okay? I don't know that that's the deal, and I don't understand how this is playing out either. All I know is what we're seeing is what we're seeing, and like I said, yes, I've questioned Chris as well. Maybe this is a multi-part plan or something. Who knows? That maybe they're all working together. You know what I mean? Either way, you know, it is a good thought. I can't imagine that
it would be cool. It would be
Ann
cool
would be involved. It would be, yes. I agree, because that if here's my thought with this, okay, and I know it's a reach. Ann being the attorney, okay, the direct contact here, would be the last one that you would expect to be involved in it out of everybody. But, you know, bringing in Chris and Turvey and all these people, and maybe if Ann's seeing that she's hitting a brick wall and says, I don't know what the hell else to do with this. I have no other choice to do anything with this. And they come up with this multi-part plan, given some time, that maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, it would be amazing if it's true. I agree with nothing. That would be absolutely fabulous. And it'd be crazy. But it could just work.
You know, I was reading today that there's a couple people, you know, I've read the first 2 chapters and I've found like 30 lies he's told. And they're like, according to this document, it said this. So, but he says this, so he's lying. Wait a minute. You believe the docs now? I don't understand.
Of course. Keep
I
going.
think
all
some
know
people
that.
have been too critical of Chris as far as his information, and every slight mistake he makes gets put under a microscope when everybody in this case is going to make mistakes because the case is so wild. So I don't think it's fair to him to criticize, like, if evidence was mislabeled and then relabeled and he's got the previous label and, you know, an honest mistake. I don't think it's fair to crucify him for that. I do think his motivations, though, for me, I question his motivations just because as the law enforcement folks I know aren't in the business of being truth tellers and whistleblowers. And if they are, they're totally on an island. You know, it's not like there's a group of law enforcement officers that are all with I mean, there's the thin blue line, and you don't cross it. And if you become a whistleblower, you can't count on help from your fellow law enforcement officers because the majority of them are not interested in participating in something like that. In my opinion,
Senior, I'm going to say his last name wrong. I can't.
Wazowski.
No, thank you. I lurk on him a lot, and he stands up for what he thinks, and I like that. And he's a real upstanding.
I was listening to the book last night, and I was getting very mad at Dylan. This book will make you mad at her.
I'm already.
When he goes through all her actions, I don't think he's defended Dylan at all. I mean, I'm like, I was just appalled.
That's good.
Can I piggyback on something Tomboy said?
Yeah, please. I was getting ready to ask if you were still there.
You have an echo.
I know. I just heard that. I don't know who it's coming from.
Go ahead. You were talking about how people were saying, you know, they lied in the book. Right? Is it
Hold
me?
on. Somebody's giving an echo. Let me try something.
Myself.
1 second. Yeah, everybody mute real quick if you're not speaking, please.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Kim.
Is it better? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tomboy was talking about people calling out like lies in the book, and I came across a part where Christopher Whitcomb was talking about an interview and then the video of the interview, and he had information that is not in either. It's not in the written part, and it's not in the interview, not even with like trying to fill in the redactions or the muted parts. And my first thought was, wait a minute, is there another video out there, like a different version of the video? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Not that he's lying, but like, does he have access to something that they did not release to us?
There are definitely redacted versions of body cam. He even said it with Nunez body cams, things he said he saw in Nunez and Warner's body cam we've never seen. So of course that's out there. So you're right about that for sure. I'm sure there was much more, Kim.
It was a pretty big bomb too. So teaser.
Yeah, there's a couple in there for sure.
I have a question for you guys. Is everybody read the book? Am I the only one that hasn't read the book?
I'm not all the way through it yet.
I'm on my second dose of it, but
so my question is, I have watched as many interviews that Chris has done on various channels, and it feels to me like every different interview takes a different turn, and he represents a completely different hypothesis with every different creator. And I'm just wondering if, in your guys' opinion, that his interviews are all consistent with what he says in the book, or are a lot of the things he says in interviews inconsistent with what's in the book? Because the reason I ask that is because his information seems to be inconsistent interview to interview. Not that it's.
Can you give an example? Because I did not get that.
What he's asking is if when he does the interviews and he we do the
I know what
question.
he's asking, but I'm asking him for a specific
Okay,
example.
for example, the black truck is the key to everything. That was on the was that the
Devil's Advocate?
Devil's Advocate interview? The black truck is the key to everything. But then he goes, there's another interview, and the key is something else, right? Now, those two things aren't necessarily inconsistent with each other, but if you haven't read the book and you're watching these various different interviews and you're trying to get because he doesn't want to give you his hypothesis of exactly what happened. He's like,
you don't like an opinion,
right? But each interview sort of points in a different direction, in my opinion, and that's not to say that they're contradicting each other. Just they're just different. They're just different. I'm just wondering if it contradicts the book. Or if it's in line.
I saw your request, Johanna, but right now we're having this conversation, hon. If we have time, we can try to.
I did not. It's not a contradiction to the book, and I did not take it as he was doing different things in different interviews. I heard repeats of the same information in different interviews, and I took it as not that he's saying this is the one thing, but this is an important thing, and there's more than one important thing. That's the way I took it.
I think what he's doing, Jesse, is he's taking, since he's doing so many different shows, he's taken and there's so much to talk about, is he made, like when he talked to us personally over at DA's, he said, there's so much more I have to touch on. We've only touched on like 7 pages in the book. So I think he's taken the opportunity at different, and he's going to be here. And at that point, it'll probably be even something else that comes out at that point. So I think that's what he's doing, is he's using the ability to talk on different platforms to be able to get out different points. That's how I see it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I think he uses different tactics, though. Like I see a kind of a pattern. I have not read the book, so I'm not saying that I'm set in stone. I'm just saying, as just an observer, I see somebody that compliments and then deflects away from whatever was asked and talks really fast and blah, 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 just to like get you distracted. It seems like
social engineering. It's a common tactic from law enforcement, and especially like.
Well, he worked in intelligence. He worked in intelligence too. You guys remember
he's
that?
Clearly running social engineering. The way he compliments people and the way he says that's an excellent question to everybody. And
I see.
You compliment somebody, a lot of times they let their guard down. They're like,
And well, the only person that I've seen him actually have his guard get broke down by was Lana. That was the only one that I saw actually may have broke him down just a little bit. But once you work in intelligence,
she threw him off.
It changes your whole who you are. That's who you're trained to be, that person for your life. You know what I mean? So that's just how he talks and acts at this point. So
it's Chase Hughes, and he's just awesome.
Say again.
Said so is Chase Hughes. He was in intelligence. He just is like, I just love him. He does no wrong.
No, I look at it as a book of clues.
I mean, and that's how everybody has to see this thing. That's how I see it. Not everybody's going to, but it's not, like I said before, and we even said over there before, what he does is he gives you a point. Go and look at the black SUV thing, for example, which in some form, Eddie and I kind of debunked a little bit, but that doesn't mean it was that he lied about it. It just means that he had something wrong, which is, he's human. That's a mistake. And I understand people are going to say, but he should have never wrote it then. Okay. I'll give you that. Okay. But that doesn't mean everything in that book is going to be wrong. So what I see,
his purpose to bring up things.
That's what I'm saying. What I see is it's a tool that he's trying to provide because he thinks that there's some wrongdoing here. And he's saying, hey, go look at this and tell me what you think. Go look at that and tell me what you think. Go look at this and see what you come up with. That's how I've seen this the whole time. He's not going to come out right and say, look, Bryan didn't do this, but Tom, Dick, and Harry did. He's never going to say that. He can't. So
I'm certainly not calling him a liar. I just suspect that he may have an agenda. And like we discussed previously between me, you, and Eddie, that doesn't mean you can't get a lot of great information from him. I just think you have to be careful with how you take that and use it.
Yes.
He's a really good person to deal with the opposition, though. You know, he knows how to defend himself.
I couldn't imagine coming into this case in summer, June 2025, and trying to get caught up on everything. He has spent 10 months at the most on this case, and we've been at it for almost 4 years now. So
I think I'm kind of surprised him on some of the stuff too.
I definitely don't think it's fair to call him a liar just because he's misquoted a few things.
Yeah, and that's what you just said is a good point, Kim. Imagine where we'd be right now, right today, if this would have never came out and this book didn't exist.
Well, imagine if somebody was going over all our old shows and taking everything we've ever said and saying liar, 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 like things we've gotten wrong in the past. Like, man.
Right, exactly.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure I've said a few things that didn't pan out to be accurate.
Sure. Absolutely. We all have. That's part of what we do. Speculative theory is how we go through these things. We see things and we take it, we turn it into speculation. It either works or it doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's part of what we do.
Yeah.
And you can't see it any other way.
I think it's Leah's because watch her lower
Let me
ring.
see.
Yeah, do you have YouTube on? I
think it's going back through hers.
No, I don't have no sound. I do hear scratching.
Oh,
no, there's an
yeah,
echo.
Now I
going back
don't.
through you.
Me?
The echo.
I
was
could go
going
out
back
and
through
come
you.
back in.
I think you just got to mute your mic when you're not speaking.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Well, welcome back, Eddie.
Thank you, Dago.
Yes, sir.
Real quick since we're talking about the vehicle, I think we established though that he's telling the public, he's telling us all that you can see the truck turn around. You can see the vehicle turn around. It leaves out of Taylor.
Yeah.
And then it turns around and it comes back. And it's coming back up Blake. It's a different road. So if he's an ex-FBI, I mean, they don't make that mistake. The FBI is not in the business of half measures or guesswork. Okay.
I guess it's this different FBI that's been working on this case then.
So he's trying to steer or manipulate what you think about that vehicle, obviously.
Do you think, Eddie, that he has seen different variations of footage that we have?
I don't believe that.
Doesn't he say he has?
Why?
Yeah.
There's stuff cut out though.
Yeah.
Because why don't we see them walking to the house that morning? Like, why don't we see like everything? We don't see when I went back and I watched the Paramount first episode the other day, and they were all saying that they got into it with the cops and were yelling at the cops because they were so upset that they got that vandal alert and that's how they heard that their friends.
Yeah. The cops
Right.
even
We don't
say
see
that.
any of
Yeah.
that. So where is that?
Well,
Cut out.
they cut it out of their body cams. Yeah. And you actually, I think, where the hell, where did I hear it? It was a body cam where one of the cops was telling the other one, yeah, they yelled at me because of, I think it was in Morris's body cam where they say I got yelled at because the vandal alert came out, and it was Lanier. That's who it was. He was talking about Lanier was telling them in Morris's body cam how the kids went off on him because they got the vandal alert and they weren't told first, and then he blamed it on Tyson Barrett. And then they kind of talked a little shit on Tyson Barrett. So that was in Morris's body cam. I do remember that. Yeah.
I think that's one I haven't seen.
That's the only one that the only place we got that info from though. But that's none of the rest of it. We don't actually hear it happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's just like one example of something that they have cut out. So.
Right. Welcome, Kathy.
Not
It's
in
great
the
to see you.
SUV.
I'm sure there's plenty that was cut out. Nothing. That we know there was actually. Okay. Because he said he got full body cams and in fact, let me reference. I think we talked about it before. He talks about Mitch Nunez's body cam, where he sees things in that body cam we never saw. He says that him and Warner are walking through there with their flashlights, shining it in the spot where the sheath would be, but it's not there. This, that, and everything. And I'm like, where the hell is he seeing this at? We saw these body cams, and none of that exists in either one. So he got unredacted body cams, is what he's claiming that he saw. Obviously, we didn't. So,
right.
I would have to say that. I mean, that's believable if he did get that unredacted videos and docs too. He said so. Unless he, and I know people struggle to believe that, and he claims he's going to show these things at one point. When he does, that's probably when everybody will say, "Okay, I believe you." But at this point, people struggle with that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody's cat is happy or unhappy.
That's my cat. Sorry, that's Olive.
That's cute.
Yeah.
But anyway, now going back to what we were talking about, you guys, I'm still torn with this whole thing. I don't know which direction to go with Ann and Turvey and all this stuff. I don't know what I believe or don't believe, truly.
I don't question Turvey's intentions.
Yeah, I'll say that much. I don't question that, and I do agree with Jesse. I think that Ann was a little harsh with what she said back to him. It was a little bit much.
I think that was just her Bill Thompson like red moment. Like
that said, I'll retract that statement if somebody shows me him recording their telephone calls.
Right.
Yeah. I'd previously heard that, and I just sort of wrote it off because I didn't believe it, because it's almost, I mean, if that comes out, if Turvey releases an audio file of a conversation, surreptitiously obtained recording of Ann Taylor in a private discussion, that would be worthy of giving him some strong language, I would guess.
I kind of feel like if he was going to do it, he would tell her, though, just on who he is. That way he has proof of every conversation he has based on how I know.
It's hard to believe that that's a thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Who he is alone tells me, hey, Ms. Taylor, I want to talk to you, and I record all my phone calls just so I can prove what I say or don't say, blah, blah, blah. He just seems like that person. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I struggle with that a little bit. Now, again, go ahead.
Isn't that mentioned in the book that he recorded the conversation?
Yeah. Okay. That's where people are struggling with that, Leah. They don't know if they want to believe that or not. I think Ann Taylor said exactly what she needed to say at the exact right time. And I'll say this much. Yes, she should have said something, because I have to agree with Jesse. Truly and honestly, she should have said something. I just think it was a little harsh how she said it. That's how he did breach a non-disclosure agreement. He shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, if he's claiming he wants her to point out what he said that wasn't already out to the public.
You knew it was wrong, and you did it anyway.
And I think he's doing it, though, for the good of Bryan Kohberger. That's the problem there. That's where I struggle with this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If he sees the corruption blatantly like he's seeing it, he's pointing it out, saying, y'all, this is a problem. But he's also calling out both defense and prosecution, too. This is why I'm so torn. I can go both directions with this, you guys. It's
a bad look for Ann Taylor, because it almost seems like she's defending.
That's why everybody's on the ball today.
I mean, that's
yep. That's what Tim was saying.
I'm a balance. I always have to be on both sides. I have to look at both sides, and that's how I argue stuff. Is a lot of times I'll try to take the wrong side, the opposite side.
Last night I even said, when we were talking, I'm like, I don't know how to take this. I was kind of irritated last night. Like, is she defending this or the prosecution or what? And then Kim made a statement, and it made me think twice about it. And here I am today, still questioning myself on how I feel about it. So,
I guess it's a wait and see, huh?
Well, that's what my next question. Go ahead.
In Turvey's defense, he's not just saving Bryan; he's saving the parents and the family by giving them true justice.
Yeah, but they don't want it.
That's right.
They don't seem to want it, Leah. There's the problem with that. And I can only imagine what the hell is going to come down from that wrath after all this unfolds with them. At least it's one.
They've released a statement on their Facebook page.
Oh, did
when they do that?
Oh Lord. Okay, let me go find that.
When was that?
I looked
I'm looking right
They've
now.
been really quiet, and that's something that has made me like side eye. Is where's all the guilters? Where are the G's?
Yeah.
We're not getting all that, and that makes me always.
Yeah, I need to go find that. Whatever their statement is. Anybody have it? They can link it to me. I will pull that up too. I heard there was, but I didn't see it yet. Because this is going to
18 hours ago. There's a little bit of a thing.
You guys do realize that if this does affect anything that has to do with Bryan to show that his innocence, you know what that's going to affect, right? That's going to throw their WSU lawsuit out the window.
That's what Michelle was just saying in chat.
Good. It needs
100%.
to be thrown out the window.
And
does anybody care?
And yeah, Jules.
Thanks,
sorry.
I hope everybody is just like, I know a lot of people are very upset with Jules, but hopefully
I'm not. I know how she is and how she thinks.
I just know she thinks a lot of people over here just have written her off and don't like her any longer. And I hope that's not the case, because we all can be a little, rough around the collar at times.
I've always respected Jules. I always will.
I think, I know you're like that. That's why.
For those of us not in the know,
you're a very
catch
fair
us up
man.
real quick. Is it?
Thank
do I
you.
have this right that some guy suddenly comes along and many people are taken in, so to speak, with him, and even though they've been like following and being a part of the Jules community, suddenly they.
That's exciting, though. It is.
She's been seeking the truth, and true to that mantra, that suddenly people just drop her like a hot potato because of her opinion of this guy, and join the ranks of those taken in by him. Do I have that right?
I think that's the way some people view it.
I know there's some people that are going to do that.
I don't care who would have wrote this book. I'd be all over this book. I want the information. I don't care who wrote it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the appropriate way to look at it. But I think her criticism of him could be valid, but she gets pretty emotional in it. Like, she gets very worked up, and I think it
seems odd for her. I'll say that. Yeah.
Passionate.
Yeah, she's pretty passionate about the whole thing, and when somebody does something wrong that she doesn't like, she doesn't mince words, and I think that diplomacy maybe is lacking in her.
I will just say, if you walked in her shoes, you may be more quick to react as well. I know some things,
That's why I'm going both directions with this.
But we can.
I'm on her side. I mean, I am definitely.
Oh, I know. I didn't think you were being negative.
My comment was not. I think you brought up Jules at the same time I said something. My comment was about the WSU lawsuit. It wasn't about Jules.
Yeah, Dago said.
I said something about Jules, but. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. No
I didn't know where that came from. I didn't hear it.
I don't know. Sorry. I talked a lot. That's my thing.
The Gonsalves react to this book by saying, "We're very interesting article about the book. Sounds like someone might be in trouble. I would like to provide clarification on several aspects of this post. Firstly, my intention is not to engage in debates regarding 16-3-21-14's guilt or 22. Oh, okay, that's Bryan. Anyway, as his guilt has been established. Furthermore, I do not wish to discuss the possibility of an accomplice, as it is evident that he acted alone." So they're still stuck on this. My God. The purpose of this post is to address the speculation surrounding the author and the legitimacy of the information presented in the book. And this article provides clarification on these matters. It is essential to note that Bryan will not have the opportunity for a retrial, appeal, or release. That's not true. In the unlikely event of a new trial, we aren't scared of the outcome. We know what it will be, and we hope that he would have an exceptional defense team. Wait, what?
They just said he wouldn't have a chance, and then they said in the unlikely event he would.
Thank you, nothing.
Interesting. Okay. Ideally, they would take the case to trial, decline a plea deal, and secure the death penalty. Have any of you who support Bryan considered why you are advocating so vigorously on his behalf when his own family is not? Bullshit. It is
Who says
noteworthy
that?
that they have not made any public statements, but they have. They're afraid to because every time they fucking open their mouths, they get attacked.
Yeah, look what
So
they did to Melissa.
don't give me that. Right. Exactly. Hold on. Oh my God, this is gonna irritate me. If they believed in his innocence, they would be advocating for a new trial on national news. No, they wouldn't. Would you not fight
Your
for your own
friends?
son's freedom? This is a point worth considering. Now, I'm gonna have to speak on that. One, his father has a heart issue. His mother is very sick. They don't know what to do with this. Okay, they don't know what to do, and they have a fear of the public. That's been proven already. Okay, and they've been threatened.
And
How
they're
do
trying
you
to be
think
respectful to them.
these people threatened them themselves? Right the day of this, in front of the courthouse, Steve was threatening them. We know where you were. We know what your flight log was. Blah blah blah. Who the hell
We
was
know
going
it's
to
not
act
your
any
plane
kind of way?
ticket. Yeah, that was
This
crazy.
is insane, and shame on you for saying that. Shame on them for saying that. As much compassion as I have for their loss, shame on them for making that statement. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that was they contradicted themselves again in this statement.
Look at the technique they're using about the media. They're weaponizing the fact that the media is weaponized against them. They're teasing, like challenging them to use the media. And if they don't use the media to proclaim his innocence, then that suggests his guilt. When they know that the media, no matter what, they cannot use the media to make any statements because the media is their enemy.
Yeah. They've contradicted themselves through this whole thing, you guys. We know that already, okay? One hand they say this, the other hand they say that. One hand they say this, the other they say that. In the meanwhile, everybody's sitting over here going, what the hell are you talking about? That made no sense, and it still doesn't. This is another point.
It's just sad the way that they interpret everything because they don't see that every one of us wants justice for their beautiful children that were taken from them. We all have somebody in our lives that we can, have compassion and think about, wow, if we had lost this person, I can't imagine. No one is happy about anything that's happened to them.
No. But they're also angry to nothing because we want justice for Bryan as well because we don't believe he did this. There's the other problem, and they don't want to hear that. If we were to throw somebody I could pull a video right now of somebody else committing the crime and put it in front of them and play it, and they'd say, nope, no, Bryan did it. It wasn't anybody else. That's how they've been with this whole thing.
I know.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
I don't understand.
I do have to agree with something in there, though. So I do agree that they should be fighting for their son's innocence if he is innocent. But the question is, why aren't they? So there's two possibilities because he did it or something else is preventing them from doing that. And we know of all the threats that have been out there. So I don't know which one it is, but if my child was in prison, forced to take a plea deal and didn't do it, I would be on every news station every day.
Well, that's a good point.
And there are families out there who do that.
I think that they have been threatened. I think they've been threatened for one. I think two, money's a thing. Probably. Shit. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry.
But it's just another thing we don't know. We don't know. So that's just another.
They may have been advised not to speak. Maybe they were told by Ann Taylor and them, don't give any interviews. I mean, Ann hasn't spoken until now, so.
Right. And that could just be bad advice. I don't know.
It might be the best advice because maybe they would go off and maybe they would put out, more publicity where everyone's like, the Kohbergers are crazy. I mean, like it's been so one-sided.
That wouldn't be enough for me as a parent to keep my mouth shut.
I know. I hear you. I do.
It's because I'm fiery like that.
I know. I'm not saying that I would probably do a lot worse, but I would probably be out there like solving it, like gumshoeing it myself. But
yeah,
I'm not them. I don't know. They seem like really sweet people. And Willie had said his mom was really sweet and working for the school system and everything. So,
and I don't think they know what to do with this either. That's the other side to that, Truly, I don't think they know what to do. I think that there's a financial aspect to it, possibly. They have health issues. We don't know what Bryan or Ann said to them either,
Yeah, they don't have any GoFundMes. They have not accepted any money, even though we have wanted to help. They have not accepted it. I wish that they would to some degree, whether it's just to help them recoup some of the loss of income that I'm surely they've experienced.
We know his sisters have for sure.
Yeah. I wish
whose parents have behaved exactly like Bryan Kohberger's parents?
Who?
Say again?
Tyler Robinson's parents, the guy who's accused in the Kirk shooting. And it's the media playbook is exactly the same. They even have the same experts. The defense had the same media expert. What's his name? Edelman, Brian Edelman, is it? The expert in jury
the survey guy? Yeah, the survey guy.
The survey guy. Yeah, they used the same guy, and he sat there and testified about the same stuff. And it was like, it's the whole following that case. It's like deja vu all over again. It's like the exact same playbook. It's like watching a football team run the same offense from the same offensive coordinator or something.
In my opinion, that's what that system is. That's what it is. It's a playbook. They just follow it. We don't have a justice system. We have a law. We have a legal system.
It's not even legal anymore.
Yeah.
Can I put in my thoughts as to what
Tim of course.
was talking about? I think Sweet Pea 2016 has it right when she says, we saw all the hate that his sister Amanda got. In this case, where you cannot take it at face value, like Jesse is alluding to there. And I talked about this earlier on in this live stream. The best recourse and the best look, unfortunately, is to do nothing for the family. Because can you imagine if they're
going to be attacked either way?
If they did continually seek the camera's attention, it would, in this case, not in a right side up normal world, but in this case, it would be used against them. They would cut and screenshot in unflattering type of, facial looks and post that instead. They'd use every trick in the book. And then, of course, they'd come across as goofy and misdirected.
Look what they did when his sister put her statement out. Everybody attacked her. So, yeah, I agree with that.
There's no winning. The best thing they can do, and I support them in this, is to just stay the course. What they're doing
don't let these people get to them. Agreed. Thank you so much, Tara, for that. God bless. On smart people keep their mouth shut. That's a good point. Good point. Except for us, we can't do that.
Smart people keep their mouth shut.
And then onward, beyond that, here comes the mouthpiece for the family, Olivia, saying, "No, come on, Mama, you got to be more blunt than that. The agreement with Mr. Turvey was crystal clear that all materials, as well as any opinions that he developed as an expert, were to be kept confidential. Kohberger's defense wrote in the statement sent to the Statesman, Mr. Turvey has not been released from his confidentiality agreement and is now speaking about the topics that are still confidential, many of which are outside of his areas of expertise. We know that. But why do they care?
They don't.
Well, here's the thing, though. Is that true, or do they? Are they nervous and worried that this is going to overturn this? That's my point.
To discredit him. It's always a strategy.
As a bereaved parent, I do not understand them. I do not understand them not wanting the truth, the whole truth. All the perpetrators, everybody that did this to my child,
Mm-hmm.
Like Dagla said the other day.
Get it. I don't understand them as a bereaved parent. I can't even give advice that way because they're not acting like bereaved parents do.
There is something very major. Well, it looks like, I will just say, it looks like, to me, in my opinion, something very major that they're all wanting to keep hidden. What is this thing?
The truth.
But I mean, what about, like, it's got to make the victims look bad. It's got to make the police look bad. It's got to make, I mean,
maybe a combo. It might be a combination of these things, but it's
we
definitely
talked
not
about this a couple of days ago, me and Diego and Eddie, and my speculation is that while Chris coming forward might be good enough to get Bryan a new trial, get Bryan out of jail, and right a lot of wrongs in this case, but it might also be misdirection. Along with that, it's the trade-off, the misdirection to, as you said, I completely agree with everything you just said about all the families seem to have knowledge that and be so invested in hiding and misleading and misdirecting the families. Right. All the kids, like how many kids were there at that 911 call that participated in that mockery, that shameful theater? They all know. There's no way that they would participate and sign up and be present for that and play along as if they thought somebody passed out, unless they knew exactly what they were doing and who they were covering for and what they were covering up. And I truly believe that there's 40, 50 people in Moscow that are participating in this that don't know exactly what happened.
And for some reason, everybody stays silent.
See, there's statements like this that get thrown into this that says people need to stop with random theories and trying to solve a case that doesn't truly affect them in any way. I have a problem with that because this affects every one of us in every way, because if they can do this to somebody like Bryan Kohberger, they can do this to any damn one of us sitting in here, period. Okay.
Well, haven't they already gone to Congress and passed a law to prevent people from having transparency in future cases? So, I mean, when they say it doesn't affect us, that tends to, that affects us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's on a state level, but yeah.
I do wonder about the G's in this way, because I've been hearing this the last couple of days, is how someone really, really hated Kaylee. I mean, they hated her bad. And Bryan has no connection to Kaylee to hate her real bad. Maybe Christy just doesn't want to accept the fact that her daughter was hated that bad, that it cost her life.
That is a good point. There are other people that are that are coming on here saying different things. So, but I'll never believe, and I'm not going to sit and let them make a statement against Bryan's family, because that irritates the hell out of me. That irritates the hell out of me. I'm sorry. I don't believe that they don't care. They said it in the. They were quoted as that. Michael was quoted in the Patterson book, and I know that's a joke, you guys, but there were quotes in there where he said, Bryan didn't do this, and he brings forth information in the here's a good point. He brings forth in the Patterson book, Michael Kohberger, Bryan's dad, information that was just put out to us, which tells me there's got to be some truth behind it. When he said to Bryan's teacher, or Bryan's best friend's mother, it was a teacher too, and says, Bryan didn't do this. She said, no, not the Bryan I know. And he says, well, there was a lot of drugs in that house, and that knife sheath was not found where and when they said it was. What did we just learn? So if he knew that, there's definitely something not right with this. This is so irritating, you guys.
And his dad has spoken up in their town to people and said, my son is innocent.
Right.
So it's not like they're completely silent.
Really has pointed that out more than once, yeah.
Yeah, and they definitely don't believe that. Just like I don't believe Bryan's does not. I cannot look at him and think, yep, the OCD guy that guy. That's the one that's going to go, oh, brand new car in the driveway. My entire, plan is turned off. There could be 6 extra men in there. Oh, who cares? I've never been in a fist fight, but I'm going in with my knife. I mean, that makes no sense to me, and I just cannot. He does not. I don't want to be insulting to him, but I don't think that he has like the cojones to do that. That is a scary situation. It's scary to just even think about going in and robbing someone when they're not there.
Right. I'm going to say at this juncture, because we're coming up on the end of this, but I'm going to say this. I'm not turning on Ann Taylor. I won't. You guys know how I felt about her. Not just because I had a little man crush on her. I thought she was a good attorney. But I do question some of what went on there at this point now. I do support and believe in Dr. Turvey. Based on what I know of his reputation, his experience, his credibility, all of those things. So I can see both ends of this candle. Okay. So I'll just say that. And I know people don't like that. You got to pick a side. They go, no, I don't. There's enough divide. I won't let this divide me too. I have questions from the defense. If I get answers, I do. If I don't, then I'll have questions. But I'm not going to turn over and say, you know what? Damn you, Ann, you suck. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. There's other things we don't.
Earlier. Let's just look for more information. If
that's it. I don't have enough info to do that yet. Thank you.
If it's a consistent theme, then maybe it's time to re-examine my thoughts. But and tell them, let's just take a wait and see approach and not be so quick to judge.
That's all I'm saying, you guys. That's where I'm at with it.
I agree with you guys. I think that we don't have enough information to slam Ann Taylor and say and call her out and call her down and speak very ill of her. However, there is a saying: when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the things that I've been shown, I think I can say that it would be unreasonable of me not to be skeptical. So while I hold out hope that she is not a bad actor, unfortunately, there's information pointing me in that direction. Not enough, not conclusive, but I have my concerns.
And that's what I'm saying. I have questions, and I'm not going down the hill yet. Okay. I just have questions as of right now. So I agree with that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, nothing.
No. I was just saying that's fair enough. If we can all just not completely jump to a conclusion.
Right.
Then we'll be fine as a community. I mean, I really hope everybody stops siding off and laughing at each other or pointing at each other, because they always want to weaken us by dividing us. And it's okay if we don't think the same. I don't mind. I don't dislike people because they think differently than I do.
Right. No, and that's what's wanted, I think. They want another divide. Like I said, I'm not turning tail and condemning, and I'm asking questions, and I will be side-eyeing some things at this point and looking into it more and paying a little bit closer attention to that. And like Eddie said, if more comes forth, then it may be time to reassess what I feel about this, and then that may be a different story. But at this point here yet, no, I'm not going to condemn her. I'm not going to attack her. I'm not going to tear her apart, but I will be watching. Okay, that's my point.
You always should.
I had a couple. Yep. I don't know what made me think of this to want to bring it up. Probably, I don't know, not us not knowing everything, things that are coming out. But, you were talking about the chain of custody with the knife sheath stuff. And my comment back to that was, and it just goes back to everything in this case. It's the quality of the investigation that was done, correct? And because here we have Turvey questioning the sheath, and then the defenders of the prosecution are saying, well, that's, they haven't done handwritten receipts or the labeling for a decade. And I'm like, okay, Mr. Digital Idaho, Moscow team, hit print and print the label out. Like, prove that the point is to prove the chain of custody. And They didn't do that. They haven't shown that. So when you guys talk about, we don't, everything in this case, we don't know. So I agree with all of you that, I have my own thoughts, waiting and watching, just like the rest of you said. I do, however, think if it comes to Bryan getting a new trial, or if he were to, get out and they got to start all over again with this case, they need a special team, a special investigative team like they did in the Long Island serial killer case. That's what they did over there in New York. They took it out of the hands of the local police department and they brought in a special team and they solved it in like 9 months.
Right.
So I would hope. We all want the truth.
I also want it to be known that with me saying what I said about Ann, that doesn't mean I don't support Turvey. I'm all about and 100% behind Dr. Turvey. I think he's a genius. Okay, 100%, and I'm grateful for what he's doing too. So that's why I told you guys I'm burning both ends of this candle at the same time, and that's just who I am. I'm not going to change that. So I fully support anything he puts out, because I fully trust in his background, his education, all of that. So know that as well. I'm sorry.
I guess that was my point about the labeling on the knife sheath. We don't need to have an argument about that. Either prove it or don't. Yeah. Like, it's that simple. If you use the QR codes, hit print and print out the label and shut everybody up. Or Turvey might be right. I mean, I don't know.
I think that's the kind of stuff, though, that the guilters and the prosecution kind of do. Like they leave something out there like that. So they hope we all go, look at that. They don't have a good chain of custody. It's all in the same handwriting. And then they're going to go, Your Honor, this is ridiculous. Here, and then print it out. It just seems like one of those baited, stupid little Jeffrey kind of traps.
And you guys see where we're at. That the fact that we're having this conversation today, they're winning. This is another divide. They want to divide this. They want to distract. They don't want us doing what we're doing. Period. Go ahead, Jesse.
I will point out that the fact that we're having this conversation is because Ann had a strongly worded statement that she released when this statement could have been avoided if it was a more generic, less strongly worded statement that was less adversarial towards somebody on her own team.
And that is a good point, too. I feel
had to match Thompson.
I told you I go both sides with this. She could have said what she was saying in a quite a bit less controversial way. Okay, because if this is the first statement you make in 8 months, knowing that the whole world is sitting on the edge of our seat going, anytime now, and this is your first statement, of course, here we sit. So I agree with you, and I get it.
Court with that, you got to sell it. It's got to look like she was not participating. She was extremely angry about this. I'm just saying.
I get it. I do. And I'm curious to see what the next thing, because you guys know there's something coming after this, right? There's
going to be lots of stuff coming. I don't think a guy like Chris gets involved. I know everybody did. I know Eddie agrees with me. I think, or at least I think Eddie agrees with me, but I think Chris is here for a reason, and I think he's going to make some stuff happen. I think some of that stuff's going to be good, at least good for Bryan. I don't necessarily think it's going to answer the question that Kim asked about what are they all hiding, and I think that secret has to be protected at all costs. And I mean, there's been a massive effort. You got to think about the massive effort there has been put into this to keep that secret. Like the media has been completely manipulated and controlled. It takes somebody pretty high up to manipulate the media like that and force them to get all in lockstep. I don't think that secret's coming out from what Chris is doing. I think the chances are
Since you asked me, I'll address that.
Like, that's for you guys to do. Like, he's almost saying, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm here to stir the pot and leave. You know, like, maybe that's his job. I don't know.
Right. Go ahead,
Maybe
Eddie.
that's his role in this.
And I know Dago has to get out of here, but real quick, Jesse, one moment you said, in response to my, why be so quick to judge? Let's just wait, gather more information. And then, you responded with, well, when someone shows you their hand, you got to listen to them. And then what you just said now, most recently, about Chris Wickham's book. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to paraphrase your question and what you said the best I can from memory. Hasn't he showed you enough already? Then, by your own standard, haven't you seen enough to make a conclusion about him? Because he did say in Lana's interview regarding Dylan's statement about there was a guy, he was clad in black and he exited through the door. He said in response to that if I were a law enforcement officer, I would say, all right, there's our guy. I mean, if I were releasing a book and I said that, what would you think about me being on point as an ex-FBI officer? I mean, you just we discussed the strength of witness testimony the other day.
So let me just really briefly just outline what my feelings are, because I don't know if you're quite in line with, if you understand what I was saying about Chris. I am highly skeptical of his intentions, and I don't trust what his goal is. However, I'm impressed with the information that's coming out from him. I think there's a lot to be learned. I think I think there's definitely value to him coming out with this information in the book. I'm happy to have heard about the debris, which happened to be hair. So he in one hand, he's proven himself to have some quality information. In the other hand, he's done enough to make me skeptical of his intentions. So that's where I stand with Chris, just to clarify if that was not understood.
It makes sense. Thank you.
I think a lot of us are at the very least questioning Chris. And I have been, and I think we should question everything, folks. I'm not, degrading anything he said or done. I'm questioning him. I'm questioning Ann. I'm really not questioning Dr. Turvey. I see no reason why Dr. Turvey would come out and say what he's saying. He has nothing to gain from it. Nothing at all to gain from it, okay? So therefore, at that point, I don't question him. I question the defense to some aspect. I'm looking at it, at least sideways. I do question Chris because I want to know how, why, and where, and all of that. But where did that come into effect, Tomboy? The Lyndon Beck interview, what? I know, but how did that get brought into this conversation is all I was asking. Is there something within this that makes that more important?
Yeah, I think one wanted you to listen to it or see who all listened to it.
Isn't it the same one we already listened to?
I don't know who Lyndon Beck
I thought there was
is.
only one Lyndon Beck interview. Hold on. 1 minute.
Now, I will say today, after our conversation and everything, maybe Ann's response, this is what I'm hoping for, is that there is an appeal coming. And she wants things to still stay confidential, that are still confidential.
Maybe that's why some of this stuff hasn't been unsealed and those documents haven't come to us.
Yeah. And I like Dr. Turvey. I'm thankful for him. And as far as the book goes, just look at it as a book of clues. It's going to help you.
The problem, and I agree with that too. Some people don't want to trust those clues. And okay, hold on.
Trust but verify.
That's what I'm saying. Trust it but question it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is the interview they said to talk. They brought this up. I don't know. I thought we watched this and I didn't catch anything in it that I thought was. How long is this? Oh, it's only 9 minutes. Okay, I guess. Let me see what they're pointing at here real quick before we go anywhere, you guys. 1 second.
All right, my name's Lawrence. Okay. What is your first name?
All this is redact.
What's your initial? And what's your date?
2002.
And what's a good phone number? And what's a good address for you? What are you living right here? Yeah.
Yeah, I watch DA's videos all the time. I didn't see today's, but I do watch them all the time. I've been dealing with this all day.
Yeah, is that a frat?
Yeah.
Which one's that? Sorry, I don't know any of that. I stay inside most of the time. Okay. And I will apologize now for asking weird questions about sororities and fraternities because I just never knew that scene. So, what can you tell me? Did you go party?
No, I slept through that.
Okay.
I was sleeping at the lights with Jim. Crashed pretty early, and then we were up. We got back up around really early in the morning, like 2, 3.
What time did you guys crash? Roughly
8, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Woke up around that time. That happened.
Okay.
And yeah.
What help me for somebody that doesn't know the layout of the sororities? Where's the lights compared to where
So
the animals live?
the whites is like, let's say, what's that street that so here's the whites apartment maybe.
Okay.
Like that's like the 2 apartment complexes.
Right.
And I was like up here. And the other house is like back here.
Does it you access that off of a side road or does it come through the parking lot?
You go like the parking lot, you go right here.
Okay.
Go walk through it.
Football field distance? Okay.
Yeah.
Distance.
I'd say so.
Okay. And that's Jim's apartment?
Yeah. Apartment.
Gotcha. Okay.
They both live there.
Okay. So, you guys woke up about that time. What woke you up at that point?
What woke us up?
Yeah, what's did you have?
Woke up.
Okay.
I don't really know.
What'd you do at that point?
We were just hanging out in the living room.
Yeah.
Just talking. And then we were up till probably about almost 5.
Yeah.
And then went back to bed. And then we woke up in the morning. I'd say probably around 9. Maybe earlier, I'm not really sure. I didn't sleep much.
Yeah.
And then,
That's interesting.
Okay.
and I think, and she's in the room.
Okay.
And I think, and
I'm telling you guys, this is the guy that came out and gave that video on Dylan. I swear to God, it's him. Same voice, sounds just like him.
Came out and did what?
Did the video on Dylan, remember?
You have a little lisp, though?
He had the little yellow bust on the thing when he put it out there and said that, said that Dylan was never traumatized when she was younger, all that. This sounds just like that same person, I'm telling you. It's crazy.
Listen then, see if he has a lisp, because that guy had a little bit of a lisp, I think, and maybe that he might have been a touch Hispanic.
Lyndon does say a couple important things in this interview. He just said that they hardly slept.
That's why I backed it up just a little bit again.
Okay.
And I think
It does sound like them, Dago.
She sounded pretty scared. She said there was somebody in her house last night. They ran downstairs and locked himself in a room because she saw somebody in her house and she only sees nose in his chin or something like that.
Okay.
And then she was freaking out. She wanted us to go over there. So we got her stuff and went over there.
So you and Joe were at the house, didn't go to the...
No.
Right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They also didn't go to the guy, right?
I don't think so, no.
So when was here 9-1-ish? When was that time before that?
I think this is what everybody's calling out. Hold on.
I think you might be right.
I'm telling you it's him. I'm telling you it's him.
Fry and that the tone is right.
The throat, the depth in his throat when he talks, that growl in his throat when he talks.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, that vocal fry like a Kardashian.
And I'll let you hear it after this, but so right there he says about 9-ish. Okay. Now, is it because he didn't sleep and he was confused on the time, or is he being real to life on that? Was it 9-ish in the morning? If it was, that completely throws the timeline out. Okay, if that's true.
I don't see why he would lie.
I don't either, but
he could be mistaken, but
were they involved in a deeper aspect? Nothing. That's the other point that we have to look at too. You know what I mean?
Highly possible.
Haven't we heard about a bunch of Snapchats and a lot of chatter and group chats at that time as well?
Yeah, Dave had said that.
And I told you guys, I just said it again the other day. I think there was a handful of possible people that were there up to the point when 911 was decided to be called and they left. That's just my feelings on this. I think there could have been 3 or 4 more people that may have been there. And when they finally got to the point where they said, okay, we're going to call 911 now, they bolted. This is just an opinion. So this very well could mean
the whole thing.
Not him, because he was there, but you know what I'm saying? Other people that may have been there, it just plays into that possibly, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. 9-1-ish. When was that time before that you saw?
I was up with and Jeff at 3.
So that you were hanging out with the girls at that point?
Yeah.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was sleeping in the bed.
Okay.
Or he was at his apartment, I'm not sure.
And then there's that. Yeah, he was meaning Hunter. He was sleeping in the bed, or was he his apartment? I'm not sure. These are the types of things that give everybody issues. Okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because they totally say Hunter was there first before them.
Hunter even said, and this is another thing that's bothered me. Okay. The call was made, and we know that Josie and Emily took it as a joke, they claimed, and took their time getting there. But Hunter says he sprinted over there because he thought it was real. It was serious. So he bolted and got there 7 minutes before them. Why? If your girlfriend thinks it's a joke, why do you think it's not?
And they all had dreams about it the night before, and none of them could sleep because they had premonitions and they had a feeling that something bad was going to happen.
They all stayed away from the house. They distanced themselves. They all went to bed at 8 o'clock at night. Who in the fucking college goes to bed at 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday night?
And they locked their
Well, it
doors.
was a day game. So if you drank all day, you might go to bed early and take a nap, or think of it like a nap and get back up. And I could see that. But I still think that Hunter was at that house enough that it is highly possible that he used that as a base of sorts, in my opinion.
And it right. And so remember, we know that Dylan herself was on her social media platforms all night long. There was no sleeping. We looked at it all. She was on Snapchat, Instagram, Indeed, everything you can be on. So I'm telling you, there was messages being sent to people. I'd love to see every damn one of them. And if he's in this group, okay, if this is Dylan's friend, I bet they're all in the Snapchat groups together as friends, a circle of friends. I have no doubt that something was stated within that group. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to imagine that he probably did know. Kim even said 3 years ago that people knew about this shit, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Dave said he woke up 9:30 and he knew about it.
Do you remember if Dave said anything about initial I remember Dave said that in those chat groups there was first there was talk of overdose. But did he say anything about talk of gunshots amongst overdose and then eventually I don't think he ever said it got to stabbing.
No, he said he heard it 3 or 4 different ways, that there was overdose, there was somebody was shot at a party or something. There was multiple things said.
Well, I know that the niece called Christy and told Christy that Kaylee was shot. And I think Dave might have said something along, because there was a great debate last night on Crimes After Dark. You weren't there, but JJ and DA were getting into it about whether it's even possible if a firearm was used. And JJ was adamant, and he was bringing up he brought up the niece calling Christy and various other stuff, but nobody mentioned Dave as another source because there's all this, there's Bethany's interview of the flash and the bang. There's one of I think Gunderson saying, collect the shells outside, or collect any shells, not specifically the shells, but any shells. There was quite a few mentions of fire for a crime that apparently didn't involve firearms. Firearms were mentioned an awful lot.
Right. I agree. I know I've not been a strong supporter of the gun thing, but I'm open-minded and listen to anything, I'm waiting to see a little more proof on that, but I'm not going to deny it. I'll just say that. So
no, I wasn't making a determination either way. I was just trying to find one more piece of the puzzle because JJ was trying to make that case, and I thought that would, if you're gonna do a list of all your pieces, that's another piece for you.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about that tonight some more.
But I did think of something about the sound, possibly. When the half wall, when you come up the stairs, there were, I think those beer cans that were on the stairs were up on that half wall and got knocked down and hit the stairs. And an empty aluminum can make a loud noise, or if it's got a little bit in it, just depending on how it hits on like wooden floors, or I have wooden floors, and sometimes you can make that like pop. So like, I don't know, I could see possibly, if you're Bethany, you could maybe hear like 4 or 5 cans fall, pop, 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 pop. And
I think she would have heard a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Well, just saying. That's the only thing I can come up with, because to me, I don't see many people running around with silencers in Moscow and them wanting to cover up that, because it's not like
college kids. Other people, though.
Why is a knife better than a gun? I just don't see the purpose in it, really.
Quieter.
If someone was shot, what would be the purpose in covering up the fact that they were shot? I just don't see the
I get what you're saying. I understand.
That the bullets match back to certain people they don't want to match back to.
And I think,
or the motive. I don't know.
I think the knife thing sends more of a message, and it's a more personal aspect to it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's way more.
And it was definitely
for a college town. A quadruple murder involving a firearm is a lot worse news for a college town than a quadruple murder involving a knife.
See, I disagree. I don't know. I guess because I've always grown up around a lot of guns, so that wouldn't shock me. The knife makes me more.
Well, I think I think it's easier to write it off as a one-off. If it's a knife, it's just a crazy whatever, you know.
If they have multiple weapons, if there's guns and knives, then they'd have to say multiple perpetrators probably. And they were trying to avoid the multiple perpetrators. So they went, and then with the injuries, they probably can't cover up the knife wounds. Maybe they were able to just say stabbings and not use, if there was. I'm not saying I mean, I've thought about that. One of the reasons I've thought about that is because of that white wall hanging that's right above Ethan's bed. That's weird to me. I feel like it's covering something up. But those are just my thoughts about that. But one other thing, going back to Lyndon here, and this is bringing it back to the book when Whitcomb says the butterfly theory, how one little thing starts this whole roll of stuff. This investigator and many of them, what they make these errors. If Lyndon said he doesn't know, he says Hunter's in his bed or at his apartment, then it's this investigator's job to either get to the bottom of it, of what you absolutely 100% know, or just write he doesn't know. And think about that impact if it is written in a report that it's unknown where Hunter Johnson is at 3 a.m.
Right. And something else.
They don't do that. They leave it wishy-washy.
Yeah, and something else I'm throwing at you guys too to think on, just to think on. We know that the whole thing happened with the crazy calls, right? Jack called Kaylee for a 17-minute call. Not Kaylee called Jack. Jack called Kaylee. And then that call dissolves. And immediately afterwards, Kaylee and Maddie start trying to call him incessantly, nonstop, back to back to back to back to back. And their phones go dead. The girls, Maddie and Kaylee's, around 2:52. But right before that happens, this is what 1-1 was pointing out. This is interesting to me. And this is in the book, too. Right before the last usage of their phones happens, exactly at 2:52, Maddie calls Dana, too. And there's no answer at that point. No answer. That point is very interesting to me. Just think on that for a minute.
What time is that scream?
That
2:27. 2:27 was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And at 2:27,
fully think they have redacted. Okay, I've been working on a research thing that's kind of not what I normally do for probably a month and a half. Like more serious than you'll ever see me probably do again. And I've learned more about audio than I care to know. And I'm going to put this video out, and I'm going to prove that they removed that audio. I have no doubt, and I hope that you watch it when I'm
good. I will watch it. You know I will.
I worked really hard on
it. I'm looking forward to it, actually. But yeah, the other point too is 2:26. Okay, I'm telling you guys to put these times in your head on purpose. At 2:26, that is when when Jack D calls Kaylee for that 17-minute call.
Yeah,
2:27, the scream happens, and then everything else I just said to you happens all in unison. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to think about these things in effect. It blows my mind the way this happens, but like 1-1 has pushed for a while now. That it's hard for him to believe that Kaylee and Maddie's phones go completely dead at 2:52. They've been on their phones all night. Why would they just shut down at that point? And there's no more activity at all? That's a pretty interesting point. So those are other things that I wanna just point out to you. But this whole 9 a.m. thing, if that's true, That's real interesting too. So it changes the timeline. It does, in my opinion. But I think we heard the parts that we needed to hear on that. I don't know. I don't know, you guys, but there's so many questions still. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, as far as our main conversation today, that's how I felt, as I said earlier. I'll be looking for more information to continue how I think and look at things. I will be watching the defense and Ann, of course, like I said, you know, side-eyeing per se and paying attention. I'm not going to take her down yet, but I'm going to be paying attention. I told you guys, I know a lot of people who disagree with the book. I'm giving it a chance. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to see what comes from it, if anything else from this. And then, you know, if I see things that prove that I shouldn't, then of course I won't at that point. But it's all interesting. Very interesting.
I plan on reading it. Do you, Jesse?
I would. You have to go down and come back, Leah.
Yeah, I can't say why I wouldn't plan on reading it.
I'll probably audio it actually.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm like, Dago, I pass out, I fall asleep.
Or I might just listen to DA's summarization of it.
You know, you can get. I found a thing last night. Thanks to, I think it was Roe. You can. What the hell is that called again, Kim?
Amazon Prime.
Nope. It starts with, it's an audio something, Audiox or something. I
don't know that one.
But you can sign up and you can. There's a free trial thing, and you can pick your book of the month, which I did, and it's
Is it Audible?
Thing. Audible, that's it. Audible.com. Go there. They're running a promotion right now where you get it, I think, 2 months free. They don't charge nothing to you yet. You can pull your book, have it read the book to you, and then you can cancel your thing if you want to. I'm just giving you a little backdoor secret too if you don't want to do anything else. Now you don't have to read it; it'll read for you. So
yeah, I need that.
It worked. And it took me 30 seconds to do it. I didn't have to put anything into it. So
yep,
cool.
I'm doing that until I get the hard copy.
Yeah, I want the hard copy just to have. You know, I love collecting books. Yeah. So
I'm tearing this book up with sticky notes and stuff.
Yeah, it's easier just to hear somebody read it to me. So,
like, how much more do you have to read?
Oh, a lot. I have not. I've been skipping around. It's a very easy book to skim through if you're looking for something.
And it's written.
I am reading it cover to cover, but I'm also like jumping to stuff.
It's very easy to jump through and scan through back and forth for different things. And this is my second go around is reading this now. I read the digital version that I got way earlier. And I'm back through it again, and I'm going to listen to them read it to me because I absorb better that way. I don't know why, but
I always have to underline or write notes, or I just won't retain it. It's like I read the words, but I don't put it.
That's bingo.
I don't retain it. I just go, what did I just read? I don't know.
My whole point is to let them read it to me, and as they're doing it, I can take down the notes that I'm hearing. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I'm marking things so I can go back to it, reference it when I need it.
Yeah, most definitely. So, anything else anybody wants to add before we get out of here, by chance?
Dago, I've held my thoughts about the gunfire. I don't want to belabor the point, but it's a quick point.
Oh, no, go for it.
I don't know if we touched on it in the discussion a moment ago, but a couple of the main reasons, they would have every reason to cover up and withhold from the public that there was a gunshot. And number one is a gun is traceable, whereas a knife is not. But more importantly, it would make having two surviving witnesses that are blissfully ignorant of the events that evening very problematic.
They're already problematic.
Good point. Good point. Very good point.
I have one final thought. It just amazes me how far this case has come from the original story, from the probable cause affidavit of the surviving roommates sleeping in their beds and the deceased killed in their sleep, and how much all that information has changed and had to have been adapted, and truth has been revealed. And yet the guilters, it's like water off a duck's back. Yeah, maybe the original story was this, but it doesn't matter if we change it to this and that, to the point where you get like this, the current version of the story that the guilters have to go with now doesn't even resemble the version that the guilters were going with back then. And they don't even see that as a problem. I don't even know if they recognize it. It's right. It's amazing to me. It's amazing.
It has, I will agree. It's come, it's the distance this case has traveled is beyond insane.
It just
beyond.
I mean, there was a time where you were a psychopath if you just suggested that the roommates weren't sleeping.
Yeah.
But I still
remember that? Remember
that?
That was so long ago.
And
You're
God
so
forbid,
insensitive. How dare you suggest that they were awake at that time, let alone on their phones?
And God forbid you said a word.
Lied to the cops. Isn't that bad in their eyes in Guilterland? Like they
God forbid you said
lied.
anything negative about Dylan or Bethany. You were the devil. So
they were sleeping in their own rooms.
Yeah.
That's it.
That alone tells you that they know differently. They know the truth. They know Bryan didn't do it.
Remember, they let us
Drunk
believe that
Turkey's
Dylan
version of
and
the
Bethany.
911 call.
Sorry.
Just Drunk Turkey's version of the 911 call where Hunter had to kick down the door, and there was this it was a very elaborate, detailed story, and it just was all bullshit. It was.
And you know what's funny with that, Jesse?
Something was blocking the door.
There was. That's what I'm saying. I remember that original freaking audio, though. There was different audio. There was.
Well, remember, and that came out of Christie's mouth.
Audio, though.
Yeah, that came out of Christie's mouth. But you know what hasn't happened? They've never, ever gone back and retracted that. Ever.
Yeah.
Never. Even though we know it's not true. They know it was never true. They've never retracted it. You tell me why.
Steve G tried to be clever and say, we were talking about the front door, not the bedroom door. That was his answer to the whole thing.
Which is still bullshit. It's not true.
Yeah. Because you don't have people in your house to help you with the door. You go and call someone else to have them help you with the door. Everything that they did was just lie. Those two lied.
I don't understand it either. What was there to gain from that ever?
I don't know. Why would you not say, I called my dad because my jaw was hurting or whatever? Like she said, why wouldn't you have said that? Why would you do that? And then we went to sleep. It was, I don't know. It's bizarre to say.
It's a mess.
To be nice.
It's a mess.
I'll say it's bizarre.
Yeah. And I will be today's Wednesday. I will be joining the Crimes After Dark panel tonight over with Devil's Advocates. It should be quite an interesting conversation tonight for sure. So if you're bored and not doing nothing,
I'm glad you didn't watch the Lee thing yet because he was all riled up. So we'll see how he is. You'll get it.
Yeah. Now I'm sure he's got the same passion I do with it. He gets he gets moving with it. I get it. I do.
Cool. I like him.
Apparently I pissed him off in the comments because I said that JJ was the smartest guy in the room, and I don't know if he took that well.
There's a lot of people that think JJ.
JJ's cool. I like everybody on that panel. I love Robin, One. Everybody has something good to add. Just like when you guys do your show, with typically Mike and everything. I always watch your show.
Verdict Room, yeah. Yes. I enjoy that one too. Yeah,
I enjoy it.
I like the ability to have multiple people involved in a conversation where you get multiple opinions, thoughts, and feelings on things. So I think it works well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So thank you, Leah, for joining us as always. Eddie,
I had fun.
I'm glad to hear. Eddie, as always appreciate you, sir, and your input, feelings, and opinions.
Thank you, as always, Bagel.
Yes, sir. Nothing half-assed. Thank you as well. Guys, please make sure we drop the creators' links that are in here, please. Thank you for your input, feelings, and opinions, as always, and keep up with the amazing stuff you have going on your channel, please.
I will do my best.
Yes. And Mr. Jesse, it's always great. It's great to have you back, sir. It's been wonderful to have the conversations with you. Appreciate your feelings and opinions, sir, for sure.
And the beautiful Exactly.
Of course, Miss Kim, thank you for joining us today. You had a great show this morning, and I'm grateful that you joined us and added your 3, 5, 10, and 15 cents to all this. I appreciate you very much.
I lurk you a
Thank
lot.
you.
Too.
Thanks for having me up. I'm
Absolutely.
looking forward to seeing that video that you're gonna do. Nothing half-assed with the.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of nervous just because it's like serious, and I'll probably have a little bit of snark still in there, but
Considering
I'm kind of proud of it because I haven't committed myself to something this research amount that I've done. It's like
you do a lot of comical stuff. That's probably why you're nervous about it. And everybody loves your
Yeah.
comedy stuff. So I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it too.
Thank you very much. I'll try.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. There's her link right there, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Nothing Half-Assed. You're going to get a kick out of all the other stuff she does too. She does, oh my God, the potato stuff kills me. I die every time I watch it. It's hilarious.
I do enjoy doing the potato witch.
Yeah.
She likes to tell people off, and you can't get mad at a potato that talks.
You can't. And the fancy grace stuff,
Yeah.
that's 100% hilarious because we all know my feelings on Nancy Disgrace, and when she does the whole long lost cousin or whatever. Yes, it's so funny. It is so funny. You are hilarious.
And
Yes.
the twins, it's
So
twins.
I'll say this much: it's great to have the crew back together with this, guys. This is just adding new people to it, of course, but Eddie and Jesse and everybody that has kind of come right back into the mix with this is amazing to me. I love it.
Somebody's got to email the Sarge.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm thinking about him. Hope he's doing.
Sarge is retired and enjoying it too much, I think, but he has popped in here a couple times. Maybe one of these days I'll get him to join us in here because I have a feeling he's going to have some feelings on this. I do, especially when he sees this shit go down.
Yeah. Yep.
Did
you see Drip Drop 2 mention something about he's going to be in a documentary with police?
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
There's a couple. Wait.
Yeah. Ex-cops, I believe.
Documentary, huh? Interesting.
I thought the last Drip Drop video was weird. Like
This one just came out this morning.
Yeah.
So this one just came out this morning. Okay. I saw one 48 hours ago and I was just like, it kind of looked like he just half-assed it. And his production, his quality of production is always so good. And it was like, I don't know. It was, I was having trouble following.
I
even
wasn't
what
too
the,
pleased.
Is this on YouTube? Is he posting? Is he posting on YouTube again?
Yeah, they're YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's come back up again.
Nice.
So Leah, do you agree? Did you watch it and think it was kind of half-assed?
The last?
I watched the one you're talking about.
And did you think the same as me? It just didn't seem it seemed off.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad I'm not
this
the only one.
Kind of
that
talks
thought
about maybe what he's been doing, and
he's had some personal issues going on.
Yeah. I'll just say that. I'm not
hate
giving it away.
that he had medical issues with his child. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be why. But him saying, and I'm just going to say this once, him saying that he's going to be in a documentary, hold on to that thought. Just keep that in the back of your mind. I think that's a very, very interesting point, and I'll explain it at another date why. So, anyway, I really appreciate you guys all very much. This has been a great conversation. Remember, guys, the most important point, we have to stick together. We cannot allow another divide. We cannot allow anything to pull us in other directions. The point, we're all here for the same reason. We always have been. That's not changed, okay? We all agree and believe in the fact that there should be true justice for the actual victims, and the truth needs to be exposed. And none of us, at least most of us, don't believe that Bryan was responsible for this. And if we do, he wasn't alone. I'll put that in there too. And the fact that that's even still an issue is part of the issue, folks. That's the biggest issue too. So that's why we're here. Remember that. It's not to argue with other people and allow the guilters to get under our skin or any of that mess. It's just, we have to keep going forward, eyes straight ahead, the way we have been. That's my feelings on it. So
just to toss in, Maddie May Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Soon.
The birthdays are coming up real quick. Yes. So Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you, and thanks for throwing that in there. Nothing.
Thank you, Dago. I'm gonna hop down. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. I'll see you later.
Here as well.
Thank you,
Good night,
sir.
everybody.
Bye.
Everybody, please have a great night. If I don't see you over at Devil's Advocates tonight, I will see you here tomorrow. So don't forget, folks, to love yourselves, love each other, and everybody, as always, please don't change a thing. You truly are beautiful as you are. Nothing but love, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
The coffee's cold, the final stain. We laid the map out in the pouring rain. No hidden corners left to creep. The dark truth woke while the city was asleep. The evidence lines up straight and true. A perfect picture of what they chose to do. The quiet street erupts in flashing light. A reckoning delivered in the night. SWAT serves the warrant, loud and clear. The sound of justice, the only thing we hear. At the TruCrime Cafe, we watch the suspect finally pay. The dark truth is backed and signed and sealed. The wound is closed, the name is finally healed. It's finally healed. The cafe's empty, closed for the night. We put the darkness back into the light. We'll wipe the counter, set the empty chair, and wait right here for the next secret laid bare. Until the next one. Until